Hey guys! Hopefully this video is being uploaded on July 1st, 2025. Exactly 2 years after I uploaded the video ranking every US state. For the anniversary of that video, I think it would be cool to take a trip down memory lane and talk about every single video I've made this year. All 34 of them. Alright, that's all you guys get for the intro, it doesn't really matter anyway. Okay, so last year I talked about every single video I made in the order I made them. Mostly about like the making of the videos, but sometimes it's just like interesting stuff about them. And I wanted to do the same thing for this year because I've got a lot of stories to tell. But last year I talked about every single video I made, and that includes a bunch of shorts and every video I made on the second channel. As you can imagine, there's not really a lot to say about those. So that's why I think it would be a really good idea to just speedrun all this boring stuff so then we can get on to the interesting things sooner. So... Mediocre Memes 1. Over the course of like a month, I made a bunch of memes I thought were funny and just made them into one video. She deserved to win this season. A small edit after I witnessed the unfortunate elimination of Golf Ball and BFDIA. Farewell iPhone 8. I had to get a new phone because the camera on my old one got messed up and I just made the video out of respect. My Digital Circus episode 2 review opening, but with the intended music. The original music I included just got copyrighted, so I had to switch it. My new reaction to BFDIA 6 through 14. It's one of those meme reaction videos with the BFDIA revival episodes. And then at the end I announced that I'd be making a reaction to episode 15, but then I scrapped it. Both the episode and the reaction were very boring. New water and channel news. I drank some water in reference to the iconic video, and I just said the Halloween video would be late. Yellowface is in danger, and BFDIA's missing episodes. These are just some quick BFDI shorts to hold people over until the big ranking. First, animations. The first ever animations I ever made. This was foreshadowing. It ain't even worth it. I almost bought the teardrop plush for a joke until I saw that it was $30. I didn't mean to do that. Just like a funny clip I got while playing Marvel Rivals. First object animation and what the animation will actually look like. And just some practice animations for my object show. And there we go, that wasn't so bad. Now without further ado, let's get into the stuff that people care slightly more about. Alright, we're gonna be starting this one off with the 1 year anniversary video from last year. Alright, so funny story about this one. It was like 2 weeks until the anniversary when I got the idea to like make the video as it is. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I like took every video I made last year and just like talked about all of them, like the making and whatnot. Because I really wanted to have like some sort of anniversary video, but I didn't know what for like a really long time. So I got that idea about like 2 weeks, about give or take, like it was a year ago, I don't really remember exactly, but pretty close to the anniversary, which actually should have been plenty of time to get it done. But unfortunately, I think it was like literally the very next day I was going off on vacation. So for like an entire week, I could make absolutely no progress on a video with a very strict deadline. But eventually I got back, and then there's like a week until the anniversary. So I got to work, I watched through every video I made, and then in like 2 days I'm starting to record. This recording was kind of bad. I mean, like the recording itself was fine, but like it was all set up poorly. I didn't have a script or anything, so I mean, which is kind of understandable considering the time restraints. So like all I really had were just like a couple of bullet points here on the computer, and it was just up to me right then and there to say everything I needed during recording. If I missed something, that's like, it's just not in the video. Nothing I can do about that. Which yeah, of course I did, like there were a lot of things I forget. I mean like, so like the recording, it wasn't great, but it was fine. Like as it was, not really an issue. But the editing. I had like 3 or 4 days to edit that entire video. A video which was like 2.5 hours long, I think. Really had my work cut out for me on this one, and I didn't really deliver, I'll be honest. There's so many long shots of just me sitting in front of the camera with like, I'm not even saying anything. There's like, I could just be sitting here and I'm like thinking what to say next. And just so many like unnecessary shots. And also just a lot of unnecessary details that shouldn't have been there. Just like general lack of professionality. Worst part definitely had to be the music. That was, phew. I got to the end of the editing process and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot to add music. So I then proceeded to carelessly throw music on without a care in the world. And because of that, some of the music was too loud, some was too quiet, and like at some points there just really shouldn't have been music at all. Like there was this cool like analog horror bit I had, and I thought it was really cool. But since I was rushing, I just placed music there. So like there's this like spooky like eyes and like robot voice or whatever, and then there's like happy bubbly beach music playing in the background. It really messed it up. But I finished the video like the night of July 1st. Like it is like 6 p.m. and the video's in the process of like being uploaded onto YouTube. And it would be late at night, but it was for sure that the video would still be out on July 1st. Until my friends called. They were getting together for a bonfire, and damn it, I didn't want to miss that. So what I ended up doing next was like very risky. Like I just let my computer sit, just completely unattended for like 5 hours, just sitting there, videos uploading and doing like copyright checks and whatnot. And I remember I left the hangout early just for the sole reason of pressing the upload button before midnight. So like 11 o'clock at night, I uploaded the 1 year anniversary video, just like barely by the skin of my teeth getting it out on time. Like certain time zones, it was already the next day. It was already July 2nd. So I definitely learned my lesson from that one. I've given myself like way more time to work on this one. Like I started working on this one like 2 weeks ago, like very early June. I've also given myself a loose script to follow, which recording me will know right now if it's a good idea or not. Yeah, it was a pretty good idea. Dude, I got like nothing about this video. Literally, the only interesting thing about it is like the Sacred controversy that surfaced like 3 seconds before posting the video. There was like some really stupid drama that came out like literally I think the day before I released the video. Oh man, dude, and every single comment in the comment section was talking about it. Like if I pulled it up right now, I would say maybe like 75% of all comments were mentioning it, dude. It was, I mean, I didn't really mind because it was good for engagement because like everyone was commenting on it. So I mean, like it was fine. And Zachary didn't even get canceled or anything, so it's like win-win for everyone. Yeah, other than that though, there's like really nothing to say about this one. And yeah, there's been an episode that's came out since this video, and I still agree with everything. Like that episode changed nothing. Oh yeah. And there was this one comment. There was one commenter who was just like absolutely pissed off that I didn't like this show. Like it was like a whole paragraph of them. They were like, "Oh man, I'm so happy to see someone bash my favorite show, call it mid, spit on its grave." Like absolutely like going insane. But that was weird because like rewatch the video is not even that harsh. I feel like out of all of my videos where I'm negative, this is probably the most respectful one. That guy who was pissed, clearly he needs to be upset more often. He doesn't know how to handle it. Oh wow, I bet you didn't expect to see this one on here. For those not in the know, when BFDIA 13 released, I decided that I would make a reaction. The episode is pretty shit, I'm gonna be honest, and yeah, I really let everyone know during the reaction. Dude, people were so fucking mad at me for hating this episode. Like, I've probably received more hate comments on this one video than every other video combined. Yeah, definitely. By a long shot, for sure. And it was so bad that someone told me to kill myself. Yes, really. Look at this screenshot. A real human was so offended by my opinion that they decided that I should die, that I should no longer be a soul on this earth. Well, guess what, pal? BFDIA 13 is still one of the worst episodes in BFDI history. F*** off. And I'm gonna censor the name here because I'm not an asshole, unlike someone else in the room. But I did actually track down the channel, and it's like some 12-year-old kid who makes like shitty Among Us videos. Fucker has like 400 subscribers. Why do I even breathe the same air as him? Try running for president, buddy. I've got Twitter on speed dial with this one. In all seriousness, though, I really don't care. I don't care. After all, it is just like some stupid little kid. Like when I first saw it, I laughed for like a good 5 minutes. A good 5 minutes. I just sat and laughed because it's fucking BFDIA 13. This is the hill you want to die on? BFDIA 13? Alright. So the Apoy apology video. Dude, this one right here is still one of my all-time favorite videos I have ever made. So, for those who don't know, in the comments section of last year's anniversary video, I got a comment from someone that mentioned that Apoy had given my old teapot video a shout out. That being how that person found my channel. But I never knew about this. I had absolutely no knowledge of this. So I saw that comment. I went to Apoy's community page, and yeah, there was the post. Unfortunately, it's like when you make a certain amount of posts, the old ones start getting taken down. So I guess I don't have proof. But it was there, I swear. And it said something like, I found this teapot video that makes some really good points, you should go check it out or whatever. But then, at the end of the post, Apoy mentions that he left a comment on the video, like, telling what he thought about it. Now, just like the post, I had absolutely no knowledge of this comment. I never saw it. So I went to YouTube Studio, and there you can sort every comment you've ever gotten in every video. And I sorted that by most subscribers. And lo and behold, Apoy's comment. Apoy, in this comment, debated and discussed my half-hour-long video in excruciating detail. And I was like, ah, shit. But what made it worse is that right under it, there was another comment from Apoy, this time on the teardrop video. And again, I never saw this one. How? Why? How could I possibly miss not one, not two, but 3 messages from my favorite OSC YouTuber? Dude, I felt so bad after finding this all out. I was thinking about it a lot, and like I started to like formulate the situation into a video, which is just like something I subconsciously do all the time. I started thinking like, okay, maybe I'll make like a short or a community post or something, just giving like a quick apology to Apoy. So I wrote a few things down and I went on with my life. But then that night when I was trying to go to sleep, I kept thinking about it. And what happened was I started to think of some really funny jokes. I thought like, oh, wouldn't it be really funny if I made like some super dramatic video about this like little tiny thing? Like kind of just like throwing away the idea, like obviously not gonna do that, it's a stupid idea. But then I kept thinking of more jokes, and they kept coming again and again and again. And eventually, like at a certain point, I just had to get out of bed and start writing them down. And then like that morning, I looked at everything and I was like, all right, I just gotta make this a video. And yeah, that was pretty much that. Like the whole video, more or less, is just like an excuse to make jokes, which is like my favorite kind of videos to make. A while back, I got this idea to like potentially like remake some of my older videos that aren't like up to the modern standard. Like how kind of like how Dead Meat does their like recounts. And if I ever did start doing something like that, then I think this video definitely deserves that treatment. I mean, with a couple of tweaks, I think they could just have like a really, really tight script. And I definitely could have like delivered lines and just edited better generally. But that's not to say that there's no jokes that don't hold up. Fuck, I need to fix this. Quick, what does Apoy love? Fucking eggs. Yeah, got it. Damn it. All right, guys. So I'm not one to brag, but dude, the delivery on the small wager joke was absolutely godly. I don't know what happened, but that delivery, the comedic timing, absolutely flawless on that joke. It is so good. Play the clip right now. Boy, I heard you were in the middle of ranking every episode of BFDI, just like me. I'll race ya. All right, that's step 1 done. What's next? Oh my god. Dude, honestly, thinking about it, in a vacuum, that might be one of the funniest jokes I've ever made. Like, and I'm not saying like that's a super high bar, and I'm not trying to say that like I'm some comedic genius. I don't want to sound like I'm coming off as like arrogant. But like, I think my own jokes are funny. Like that's why I write them, because I write something that I think is funny. And I think that's just a really funny joke, and it just, the recording and the editing and the voiceover, it just like the stars aligned on that one joke to make it perfect. There's so many jokes I've written that could be really, really funny, but somewhere along the way I fuck it up. Like I'll get to editing and I'll realize like I said it wrong, or I don't like mark the proper like tone indicator in the script, and I say it wrong or something. Or like during editing, I'm going fast and I'm not really paying attention or whatever. So there's a lot of times where I'm watching my old videos and like I see a spot where a joke could have been a lot funnier and it just got messed up. So I want to make that clear. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging. I really don't. I feel like a lot of my jokes could be better. But this one right here, I think I really nailed it on this one. I'm really proud of that one. I'm proud of the whole video. I just want to say that I think it came out really well overall. Definitely one of my best videos. Oh, and the shot with Freddy in the safe, that kind of goes hard. Like, you got to admit, that's like computer background type of image. So anyway, after I posted the video, I was pretty confident that Apoy would see it. I mean, like, he's very involved in the community, and I put his ad in the description or whatever. So I knew that he would comment on the video, and I kind of expected that he would make another community post just like saying a little something. But dude, never in a million years would I have ever expected bro to make a full video about it. I'll tell you, to this day, seeing that video on his channel has got to be one of the happiest moments in my entire YouTube career. Dude, Apoy fans were so confused. People thought that this was his face reveal. Why would he do it like that? But after a few weeks, I had this thought. So many people were introduced to my channel from Apoy's response, and it kind of got me a little concerned. Are people gonna think I did this for the shout out? Like, making the Apoy video directly led to thousands of views and hundreds of new subscribers to my channel. So were people gonna think that this was all just a marketing ploy? It honestly made me feel kind of scummy. Like, it was never my intention to do that, but it made me feel kind of bad. But yeah, my Apology to Apoy is my second favorite video I've ever made, only beaten out by what came next. Well, I was having a good month. Yes, dude, ranking every Team Jingle and BFDI by far, well, maybe not by far, but is my favorite video I've ever made. Speaking of which, a while back I actually made a playlist of my top 10 favorite videos I've ever made. But don't be checking it out quite yet, that's gonna be spoilers for later. This was the last video I made before I got a new phone. The camera was doing this, and the audio was also bugged out at the beginning. So before I made this, I saw the top 10 anime characters I would marry video by Chazington. And the way the video works is that it's not really a top 10 list. It's basically just like 10 things that Chazington wanted to talk about. He goes very off topic, and it gets like really, really funny. And I was like, dude, I want to do this. So I thought of a clever video name to disguise it under, and then I started gathering a handful of topics I was interested in. And I meant for the tangents to be more like subtly introduced into the video, but I just went all the way too early at the beginning. The first one I talk about Team Ice Cube is just like pretty standard, and then the very next one, immediately hard left turn off topic, just talking about Alpha Oxtrot. Definitely butchered the pacing after that. Okay, so I just kind of realized that the light on the tripod here was not on that entire time. So hopefully, like, it's not dark, not too dark. And recording. Probably fine though, I mean, like, it's a very casual video. Like, I'm just gonna leave this long take in. Like this. Yeah. That might be too bright, hold on. I do hope to one day make full videos on each of the topics I talked about in this one. So there were 7 things I talked about. There was Team Ice Cube, Alpha Oxtrot, FNAF, Yellowface, Pokemon, DDLC, and Mario Kart. And Team Ice Cube, we're gonna say that was the Barf Bag video. Yellowface, I did the short about Yellowface, that counts. And then recently did the video on DDLC fan stories. So I do plan on making a video about Alpha Oxtrot. That would be a huge video though. Currently not in the plan. I do want to make it at some point, but I feel like not quite there. I feel like I could make a small video about Pokemon. Not sure about Mario Kart. I haven't bought Mario Kart World. I don't have Switch 2. Way too expensive now. And then that leaves FNAF, which I have made 3 FNAF videos in the past. And I've thought about making like a big, like 5-hour long video discussing like my entire history with the series and why I don't like it anymore. Dude, I never want to make a video that long ever again. I don't know. I'm not gonna completely rule it out. It is so fucking hot in this house. We have the fan on. I'm gonna leave it on for just a second. Hopefully it's not too annoying. Dude, this is what I have to deal with. Like, during normal recording sessions, like a normal video, I just have to sit in the heat if it's hot like this. Because I can't mess with the recording. Luckily, we're all just hanging out in this video. We're just chilling. A little bit of fan on right here. It's alright. I'll turn it off eventually. Dude, I'm getting so off topic. I still think it's a super funny video. The DDLC section might be where my channel peaked. I'm not gonna lie, that might be the best I'm ever gonna get. I don't know what to say, dude. Ooh, and there's also this, there's this joke I made. And that one ice cream Pokemon. So many people hate this Pokemon, but I think he's so cool. See what I did there? It's such a good Pokemon, but my compliments have only reached the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, no one gets that joke yet. It's from the object show I'm making. It'll be really funny a year from now. Hopefully, you guys will understand that soon. Change of plans. Alright, so this video is just like a big channel update where I talk about how I want to make more content I'm passionate about instead of BFDI content. Honestly, it's still something I'm trying to work on. It's just like really hard to make a stupid fun video when I know that like an easy video about TV is gonna get 15 times the views. I think it took like all the way up until like pretty recently for me to finally like put my foot down like, alright, I need to stop. And as you'll see later, there's at least 2 more videos after this that aren't exactly passion projects. Okay, to this day, I still don't know why I decided to make this an episode of Worst Trends. So I have this system I use to keep all my videos organized, and that system includes numbering each of the official episodes of Worst Trends, like how Scott the Woz does it. Okay, so because I randomly decided to make this an actual episode, it gets its own number, and more importantly, a spot in the playlist. It's really not a big deal though, and like in the future, any channel update, it'll just be its own thing. Kind of like the same situation as the Skylanders video now that I think about it. Alright, one last thing. In the video, I mentioned like a passion project that I'm working on, and that video was actually the DDLC fan stories. And considering that video didn't release in 2024, yeah, I think it's safe to say it was in production for a while. Yeah, so many things got in the way of that one. Mostly the BFDI ranking, which like, dude, that video like absolutely destroyed any and all plans I had for like half a year. But all this time later, I'm so glad to finally have half of the video out. Dude, I just have way too much to say. Like, dude, I'll talk about it later, but man, dude, still gotta make part 2. And a little bit of a spoiler here. Keep this between me and you. After I was, so during editing the Doki Doki Literature Club video, I had to go rewatch all the stuff and like to, you know, get the footage or whatever. And because of that, more DDLC fan stories started to show up in my recommended. So I started watching them because I fucking love DDLC fan stories. And now I have like an entire like 3rd video's worth of stuff to talk about. And like, I don't know if I'll ever make a part 3, if I'll ever make a 3rd DDLC. I'll definitely do part 2, unless like I quit YouTube for good before I get to that, I guess. I don't want to scare you, that's probably not gonna happen. Quitting YouTube, I mean. But yeah, dude, there's just like DDLC fan stories. It's such an interesting topic. I gotta stop. I gotta get to that later. Well, I'm gonna turn off the fan, hold on. So this video may have seemed like a spur of the moment rant kind of video, but I actually like kind of planned on making this one like ever since Teapot 9 when he was safe again. Wow, I just can't wait for part 2. No, I'm kidding. I think Teapot 9, TV's done for. I think he's finally gonna be slain once and for all in Teapot 19. You know, man, it's a real shame he finally started to get interesting. 32 episodes in. Yeah, I received quite a bit of hate from this video. Like, enough to where the point where I was kind of gaslit into thinking I was like super harsh in this one. But rewatching it, it's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine video. And yeah, like I do criticize TV and his voters quite a bit. But I think what the main issue was that people were just taking me way too seriously. Like, I know I look really pissed off in this video, but it's very exaggerated. Cause like there's even a few moments where I'm self-aware about how stupid and like unserious the topic is. You know, as if he would anyway if he managed to stay on longer. Guys, this is a fucking cartoon TV. What the hell am I talking about? It's as if TV is an incredibly boring character that the writers had absolutely no idea what to do with, so they threw him a random task in hopes it'll make him look like he's a more valuable member of his team. God, I love complaining. So, I mean, for anyone that got mad at that video, I mean, consider yourself rage baited, I guess. I mean, I'll just say it, guys. I think this was a good video. I think it's really fun. It had a handful of decent jokes. I was really proud of my usage of music in this one. And it even had a banger of a title and thumbnail, which definitely contributed to how many views it got. That and how fast I was able to crank it out after Teapot 13. This video is pretty cool though, because it was actually featured in videos from 2 other YouTubers. One of which being GD Nacho. A YouTuber named GD Nacho made this BFB prediction series that was sadly beaten, stabbed, and spat on by Jack and Jellyfy when the split happened. Then Bracelety didn't get to join Teapot. Like, holy shit, guys, give the man a break.
What? Me? Oh, thanks, man. I'm fine, though. I'm used to it.
Yeah, this one's definitely up there. And the other was Rough Storm, which is just a video where he's talking about leaving the OSC. He just kind of mentions me for a second and then plays a clip from the video. Oh, and one last thing. There were people in the comments who were mad at me for saying, like, TV never does anything in the first 3 seasons. Which, like, that wasn't even my main argument. And also, did you even watch BFDIA? Like, yeah, TV is in, like, the first, like, 4 episodes. Is it? No, not even. It's only, he's there for the first 2 episodes, and he does nothing. He stands there, like an inanimate object. You could replace BFDIA TV, you could just replace him with just a screen, like how they did in season 1 for years. The scene in episode 7 where he gets flung into the LOL, that is like, that one singular scene is more than he does all of the original BFDIA. I don't know why people were acting like he was some like amazing host in that season. Like, I feel like you guys gotta go back rewatch the episodes if you were saying that. Every aspect of recording in this video is fucked up. Except for the segments at the computer, those were fine. Okay, so when I was filming the main chair shots, I was trying to be quick because I didn't really have much time. But in the process, I just completely messed up the placement and height of the tripod. Like, I was just way too low on the screen. I ended up having to, like, crop it down because there was, like, this is the screen, right? This is me. There's just way too much space above my head. So I had to crop it down just so it didn't look weird. But from doing that, which was really my only option, it's just, I was just way too close to the screen. Around that time, I recorded the BFDIA segment of the BFDI ranking. And it was like around then when I like finally figured out the best spot to set up the camera. So now I know now, I want the bottom of the screen lined up with the bottom of the desk here, and then the top of the frame shows just the bottom 2 rows of stars. And if I get that, then it's like the perfect framing. Oh, but it couldn't just be the chair shots. The voiceover, oh dude, the voiceover, it was such a mess. Alright, so I only ever record when I'm home alone. There's lots of reasons for it. Mainly, I don't like knowing that someone's listening while I'm recording, because like, they don't know, my family, they don't know what I'm talking about, man. And I swear in my videos, my mom gets mad at me for swearing. Oh man, you got quite a mouth in these videos. I'm like, you don't have to watch them. You don't have to watch them. But yeah, so I don't like to record when there's other people home. Every once in a while, depending on what it is, I'm okay with it. But for the most part, it's just, I can do it, but it just doesn't sit right with me. But luckily, it just so happens that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, between the times of 3 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm gonna be the only one in the house. And I use that small window as much as I possibly can. Ooh, as a matter of fact, I'm using that right now. Ooh, guys, it's relevant. It's relevant. It works out pretty perfectly too, because like, For a 20 to 25 minute video, it takes about 3 total hours for me to record. And that leaves me plenty of wiggle room to like make sure the camera's set up right, to take my time in every line read, make sure they're as good as they can be, and just like making things to the quality I want. Unfortunately, there's one small thing that completely destroys this plan. Sports. In both the fall and the spring, for a combined half of the year, I'm forced to attend practices that run from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Now tell me if those times sound familiar. So yes, for all of sports seasons, I have absolutely no surefire times to record. Literally the only thing I can do is just sit around and wait for the planets to align where I can record by myself. And believe me, I wanted to account for this. This video was fully written and ready to be recorded for weeks. Weeks of my life went by, and there was not a single second where I could just sit down and record. And the thing is, I really wanted this video to release on the 1-year anniversary of the episode. And one day I was sitting at my desk and I was just so frustrated that I still hadn't gotten time to record. Like, I think it was, I could be wrong, I think like that day I was like finally gonna be able to record, but then like somebody came home early for some reason and just absolutely fucked it up. I was so pissed. So I estimated how long the video would be based off of the script, and pairing that with my usual like editing process. And that's when I realized that if I wanted this video to be out on the 1-year anniversary of the episode, then I had to record right now. So I did. I grabbed my tripod and I walked my ass out to the garage to record in peace. Unfortunately, the issues didn't stop there. I very quickly realized just how echoey it was in the garage. Like, if I recorded out there, the video would be just straight up unwatchable. It would have been awful. So this left me in a pretty tough spot, between a rock and a hard place, if you will. So my options were A, record in the garage and get the video out on time, but with shit audio, or B, wait another 3 weeks for an open 2 hours. But you know what I did, my friends? I chose option C. At this point, it was no longer about recording. It was no longer about getting a video out on time. So many things have stood in my way of making this video, and I've had enough. This wasn't just me being unlucky. This was divine intervention. God himself didn't want me to make this video. And I was gonna be damned if I didn't get this video out right when I wanted it. So I grabbed a stool, a ladder, and a blanket, and I made myself my own little recording studio right there next to my Ford Fusion. And it actually worked really well. The blanket I had draped over me was really thick, and it cut out a lot of the echo. And I was happy with the results I recorded. I went back inside, and the video later released on October 13th, 2024. Exactly 1 year after Digital Circus Pilot released. The audio is definitely not perfect. I'm sure some of you remember it sounding a bit off during the voiceovers. If you put headphones on and like listen closely, you can even still hear a bit of an echo. But you know what? I fucking did it. Against all odds, I got that video out on the day I wanted it. Hell, I even had time to spare in the end. That was the whole story behind the making of this video, and what can I say? It was quite the production. Now the actual video itself, I think it's perfectly fine. I kind of just made it because the first review of it was so bad and I wanted it to be up to the modern standards for when I eventually reviewed the rest of the show's episodes. And speaking of which, I don't know if I'll ever actually get around to making the other episode reviews. It's not that I don't want to make the videos, I'm not against it. And I could definitely see myself having fun while making them. But there's just so many more videos I'm really passionate about, and making a review of episode 3 just isn't very high on the list. I do though, I already have a lot of notes in episodes 3 and 4 from my first viewing. So if I ever do decide to make reviews, I think I'd be able to whip up a script pretty quick. Or maybe I'll just wait until the show's over and just do a ultimate retrospective or something. I don't know. Okay, so there are a few things to say about the video. This is my most viewed non-OSC video. Just thought I'd mention that. Ooh. Okay. So there's this one joke. There's this joke where I call Pomni Hatsune Miku, and no, just play the clip.
In pops Hatsune Miku. Oh, whoops, sorry, I got my tabs mixed up.
And I almost had it, so instead of just being a normal Google search of Miku, it was gonna be a Rule 34 tab. But when I got to editing, I decided that was taking it too far. But I had already recorded at that point, and there was absolutely no way I was gonna set up the recording studio again. So I just had to be like a bunch of normal tags, and like the joke isn't even funny at this point. Honestly, dude, if it happened now, I would have just kept the Rule 34 thing. Like even today, I'd still say that it's kind of riding the line, but like, you know. And I weirdly used a bunch of clips from the Digital Circus YTP I made. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, and then like I was just talking about it earlier. A lot of the jokes got ruined by the recording. Like as it is, the video's fine, but I think it had a lot more potential to be really funny, I think. I don't know, maybe I'll give this one the remake treatment too. Let me tell you guys something. I will always make a Halloween special. Every year, no matter how long it takes me. Like, it could be June, not a video in months, and I would still just keep working on the Halloween video. I'll admit that there's a lot of uncertain things on this channel, but a Halloween special every year is not one of them. However, future specials will not be like this one. Oh my gosh, dude, the amount of time and effort I put into this video is just too much. The ratio of the effort put into the production to the length of the video is by far the largest of any video I've made. And I don't mean the part where I actually talk about the monsters, myths, and cryptids. That was light work. But the skit part, I still have nightmares about. So remember when making the Digital Circus video, I had a really hard time finding time to record? Yeah. So for the whole time between the release of the Digital Circus video to the end of sports season, I once again had very little opportunity to record. However, there were a few moments open during the weekends, which is what I used to film the normal portions of the video. And then after that, I just waited around like usual. And for the record, I wasn't just like sitting there twiddling my thumbs for 2 weeks. I was working on the BFDI ranking, I was editing the main part of the video. Okay, the grind never stops. But October came and went, and with it, I made a short that announced that the video was just gonna come out when it was ready. And you know what, at first it was nice. Like, I had all this time now, as much time as I needed to make the video. Everyone knew what was going on. Everyone was very patient in the comments of the post. But then something bad happened. I started thinking. I was looking at the progress of the BFDI ranking, and I realized just how much more I had to go. It was really stressing me out how much work I still needed to do on it, and it was just sucking all the energy out of me. Because at all times, I was working on at least 2 projects, one of which I could work on for an entire day and see no substantial progress on. And like, at some point, I just decided that I needed to finish the fucking thing. That ranking had become a burden on my life. It made BFDI unfun, it made YouTube unfun, it made my entire life just suck, I'm gonna be honest. So at that point, I just decided that as soon as I finished the Halloween video, I was going to tell everyone I was gonna go on break, and then use all that time I bought myself to finish the ranking. And I think that was a great decision. I would not ever in my life change that decision. I'm so glad I'm finally done with that. Yeah, but the suffering didn't stop there. I was still thinking about the BFDI ranking all the time, and it was still just stressing me out, just how gigantic of a project it was. And to stop that, all I had to do was just finish the video. But in order to finish the BFDI ranking, I needed to first finish the Halloween video. Great, so now this video is a chore. And the best part is that the longer I take to make it, the longer I'm more stressed. I bought myself all that time for nothing. And all of that combined made what I'm about to tell you 10,000 times worse. So to make things easier for me, I storyboarded the entire skit, and I included a list of every individual shot I would need, and I could check them off as I filmed them. It was a really good system to use, and after a couple weeks, sports season finally ended, and I would finally have more time to record. Unfortunately, that didn't really matter. Because this video takes place entirely at night, the 3 to 5 recording sessions just isn't gonna work anymore. So once again, I just sat and waited for times to record. Literally any second I was home alone, I would set up my tripod, change my clothes, which I had to do every single time, and I would just record as much as I possibly could. Most of the time though, recording as much as I could meant like 4 or 5 shots, a far cry from the 90 or so I needed. So like after a while, I started to get really sick of doing this all the time, and I I said, screw it, I'm gonna start recording during the day. So in this video that's supposed to take place at like 4 a.m. canonically, unless the outdoors are like within the frame of the video, odds are it was recorded in the middle of the afternoon. Like mainly all of the basement stuff. But pretty much anything upstairs, that had to be recorded at night. There were just way too many windows and like, dude, this just went on for weeks. I distinctly remember when I went to film the very last shot I needed. So like I was in my video editor and I was piecing together all the shots I had. I was laying them all out and I realized that I was missing 3 shots all from the same camera angle. And it was the one where I'm walking in after, like right after the actual review segment of the video when I'm walking into the house. It's that shot at the door. So then I think it was that night or maybe the next day, I'm not sure. Me and my parents were out for like some event. I don't remember what it was. It doesn't really matter. But we had driven separately. And when it was finally time for us to leave, I made sure I was out the door as soon as possible. And I drove home as fast as I could. And luckily, like it was November, so it was already dark out when like not even that late. So as soon as I got home, I grabbed my tripod, I set it up, make sure the angle was perfect, I turned all the lights off, making sure there was just enough lighting for me to see everything. And then I looked down and realized I forgot to change my clothes. And like I had already started filming, like I was almost done before I realized, and I was like, shit. So I ran back to my room, I changed into this shirt and jeans that I needed to, and then I recorded it. And the very last thing was when I'm actually walking into the house through the door, and that's the garage door. So as I was filming it, and I make sure to do everything like a couple times just to make sure there's at least one good take, and I was on like the third or fourth take for me walking in the door, and as I was doing it, the garage door opened, my parents were home. So I was like, okay, hopefully one of those first few takes was good because it's what I'm left with. And if those shots weren't good, like if it was too dark or something, I don't know what I would have done because I was at my wit's end at that point. But after all that, I finally had every shot and I could just finally put it together. But dude, that was stressful that night. So kind of unrelated, but this reminds me of when I was filming the Evil Leafy video. So that one I was filming in the afternoon, and my mom was coming home as I was like finishing up, and literally as I said the final line of the video, she opened the door. So if you go back to that video and you listen carefully, you can hear the screen door open or the glass door open as I say it. And I tried to hide it with a fade out, but I just couldn't. I remember sitting there for the Evil Leafy video. I was talking and I heard the car door slam from outside and I was like, oh fuck. And so I had to finish it up. I said the final line, and it was open. I mean, I clearly didn't care enough to fix it, and you know what? It's fine because I don't really care about that video anyway.
One of the greatest object show villains will never be seen again.
But back to the Halloween video, I put so much effort into it, and I honestly don't think it was worth it. Like, the vision was there, but I just don't think I have, like, the ability to deliver on the idea. I mean, there were issues with line delivery, shot quality, very inconsistent volume. Like, the video is infinitely worse if you're not wearing headphones. And I'm just not a good actor. Like, I think I did fine for the most part, but dude, like, the shot outside where I'm like, wait, how am I gonna do this? Like, that was bad. Like, I think decent the rest of the time, but that was bad. I think the final circuit, like when I come back at the end after the cringy outside shot, I think that part's decent. That one's actually passable. That's probably like the best part of the skit video. And then immediately after, the credit text is blurry. Alright. I will say though, definitely one of my best thumbnails. After a whole like 3 or so months of complete silence on every channel, this is how I came back with the announcement of the BFDI Retrospective releasing in just 5 days. I gotta say, I think I made a pretty hype trailer, but like no one watched it for some reason. Like it barely even got 1,000 views. Why? So like the reason I decided to release the ranking on Thursday as well as name the trailer what it is obviously because of the iconic BFD13 This Thursday video. That video in particular is a YTPMV of Megalovania, but I mixed it up with the one where they do revenge. And that actually was going to be the original idea for the trailer. I was going to take clips from my videos and recreate revenge with just like how they did in the other video. But I decided that making a normal trailer was just a smarter move and definitely a lot easier. Like, just trying to organize where I'd get the clips from was difficult, and then I'd have to like mess with the pitch on all of them. Like, definitely a smarter move just going with the normal trailer. But man, dude, March 6th is just an unforgettable day in my head now. Like, I have looked forward to that singular day more than anything else in my entire life. Like, it was rough. And now I get to talk about all of the terrible experiences that happened along the way. The ultimate BFDI retrospective. Dude, I don't even know where to start on this video. Okay, so there are so many like stories and like just notable things that have happened throughout the making of this video. So let's just start with after I finished Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids, I said I was going on break, which let me actually check real quick. Okay, so Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids released on November 27th, 2024. And the very next day, on the 28th, I started my long journey that lasted 87 days. So, alright, so basically what I did is I broke the video down into the main three parts, which is writing, recording, and editing. Now, alright, thankfully at this point, pretty much all of the writing was completely done by November 28th. The only thing I had left to write was the intro, as well as like half of the character ranking segment. So I made this schedule. I went into Google Docs here, I made this table and made like a giant calendar, and on the 28th I mapped out the entire process that I would need to do, and as with everything lined up to have the video release on March 6th of 2025, a whole 87 days after I'd start working on it. So I'm gonna show the schedule on screen now. All right, and as you can see here, each of these days, each of these little squares here, they have a number. So there's 55, 1 hour, 65, 70, 75. So basically what that meant is on November 28th, I had 50 minutes worth of the video already edited, which was like BFDI and BFDIA segment. So what this is saying is that on November 28th, I edit up to the 55th minute of the video, basically. So every single day, for 87 days straight, I edited 5 minutes worth of video, of the video, which might not sound that bad, but that takes about 2 hours. That is 2 hours a day where I'm just sitting here editing. And that's not counting any of the other writing I had to do. That's not counting any of the recording I still had to do, which I'll get to in a second. And that's also on top of school, work, just all that stuff I was doing. And I did this every single day. Every day since November 28th, I edited for 5 minutes, including fucking Christmas. Christmas Day, after I opened my presents, I walked my ass to the room and I started editing. So as you can imagine, editing every single day for 3 months straight is a little bit of a demanding process. And there was one time where I didn't have time to edit. There was one single day out of all of these days where I didn't have time to edit. And I don't remember when it was, but missing that one day fucked me up. It was awful having that happen. So I missed one day and it's like, okay, well, the next day I'll just edit 10 minutes to catch up. But that's 4 hours of editing in one day. That's awful. So basically, it took me an entire week to catch up on just missing a single day. An entire week of my life was ruined because I missed one day of editing. And after that, like that was pretty early on. After that, I never missed a day again. Every single day, I made sure I edited, even if I was up late into the night with school in the morning. I made sure that everything I had in each square for that day was completely done. I'd color it yellow before I went to bed. There was one exception. So if you see here on the left, it goes from November 30th all the way to December 8th. And the only reason that there's a week missing on this calendar is because I literally had no more footage to record. After this or whatever, I had caught up on the recording with the editing. So every single thing that I've recorded for the video was already completely edited. and there was nothing I could do to further work on the video. So I took a week off, and then I jumped back into it after recording. So on that week off I recorded, and then I jumped back into it. And I mentioned it before so many times, but every Tuesday and Thursday I'm recording for hours. So what I would do is I would get home, immediately record for 2 hours, and then I would edit for the next 2 hours. That happened every day on Tuesday and Thursday. And I had to do it. Every week I had to record on those days, because if I missed one day of recording, who knows what would have happened. If I had caught up on editing again and had nothing left to edit before I could record again, that would have been detrimental. I would have to push back everything by like at least a week, potentially, I don't know. But everything would have to shift down if I missed just one day of recording. And it was rough too. The recording was rough, because I would get home from school dead tired, and I would have to sit down and be like, hey guys, so BFB 13, honestly, this is a really, really good episode. This is amazing. I'd have to do shit like that after having like a terrible day, and that sucked. And there were issues with the recording. So I record on my phone, and there's this thing that it does where if I have too much video saved on my phone, sometimes the video will just stop recording. Like mid-recording, it'll just stop, and I won't know until I check. So I have this habit, I'm gonna do it right now, to go back and look like every couple of minutes to make sure it's still recording. So what I had to do because of that was kind of risky. I would record something for the day, I would upload it to my Google Drive like normal, which is what I always do, and then I would have to delete it off my phone, which is something I hate doing, because if I delete it off my phone, then it's kind of gone. And if it like somehow didn't get uploaded to Google Drive, then I just have to record it again. And obviously that's really, really bad. That'd be very hard to like reintegrate into the video if there's like just this little gap that's missing. Oh fuck, where was I going with this? I kind of lost track of what I was trying to say there. But there was this one time where I was editing, and I distinctly remember it was Teapot 8, BFDIA 7, and then like a little bit of whatever the next episode was. I know it's Teapot 8, BFDI 7. I don't remember which one comes to which. It doesn't matter. But it was those two episodes and a little bit of another one that I completely recorded. And then I look back, I look at my phone, and it fucking stopped 5 minutes into the recording. And that was like, that broke me. Like, I had a bad day. I had to come home and record shit. And I remember, dude, I saw that it wasn't like how early on the recording cut out, and I just fell to the ground. I just started fucking screaming. That was awful. Like, I remember, like, I was sitting, and you can't see this, but I was right here, like, the tripod's right here. I'm sitting, like, right here, kind of where the camera is right now. And I go and I turn around, I look at it, and I'm just like, I'm holding my phone, just staring at it for a second, seeing that it stopped recording. I go to look to see how early it was. 5 minutes in. Oops, sorry. And I just like, I fell to my knees. I just like started fucking screaming because it was 2 hours of nothing. And now I had to just get back in the chair and record all of it again. And I did. And you know what? Got the video out on time. So I kind of lied. I would edit 5 minutes every day, but only 6 days out of the week. So as you can see here, on Saturdays was like the specialty day or whatever. So on Saturdays, I wouldn't edit, but I would do something else that was like equally as important. So as you see early on here, I'm like, all right, I need to write Teapot 12 still. I need to write BFDIA 14 still. This day I made the logo. That was may have seemed easy. The actual logo I use like doesn't even look very good. That took me a few hours to make that. Here I had to write BFB 30. Here I had to make the intro. This is when I got the worsty asset for the thumbnail. The thumbnail. Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Okay, so the thumbnail of the video isn't like amazing. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it could have been a lot better, but that's only because the thumbnail I use was just a mock-up, right? Like, that wasn't meant to be the thumbnail. Like, I'll put it on screen now, but here is like the very, very like prototype stage of the thumbnail, and as you can see, it's not too different from the final one. So what I wanted to do, oh my god, I'm looking at it now. I wanted to commission the thumbnail. Oh my god, this is so fucking bad. I commissioned the thumbnail off Fiverr for like $40 fucking, and I tried my best to communicate it. I really did. And this was the fucking result. Oh my god, it's so ass. It's so ass. Like, dude, I tried. I really did. I really tried to like describe exactly how I wanted it. And like, dude, I don't know what you want me to say. Like the idea. So let me pull this up. So a lot of people might have realized that my Barf bag video, the thumbnail to the Barf bag video, was an Ellis Mark reference. But what a lot of people also may have not realized is that the thumbnail to the BFDI ranking is also kind of a Ellis Mark reference. So we take a look at this video here. I read every Five Nights at Freddy's book. It looks a little similar. So I wanted to do the same thing where we got me in the center there, and you got all these other guys crowded around me. And you can see it in the shitty thumbnail, but that's what I was going for. And actually, yeah, another thing, the actual title of the video, The Ultimate BFDI Retrospective, I also stole from LS Mark. As you can see here, The Ultimate Five Nights at Freddy's Retrospective. And like, dude, I don't know, I'm fine with the thumbnail being similar, but I don't know, I feel a little bad about having the title of my like biggest, most massive video just kind of be like a copy of something else. But I mean, what you see is what you get. It really is the Ultimate BFDI Retrospective. The title of the video did not start out as the Ultimate BFDI Retrospective. At the very start, it was, I think it was like every episode of BFDI ranked. And the reason I had it start out like that is because I was scared that people wouldn't know what retrospective meant, and then they wouldn't watch the video. Which, like, looking back is kind of a stupid thing to think, because like, if you see a video that says the Ultimate BFDI and whatever word, and it's 7 hours long, I think you'll kind of get the gist that it's like a comprehensive like piece of media, I guess, about BFDI. And like, even if you like click on it, I say it in the intro that I'm ranking everything. So I mean, I did change it back after like a few weeks, but yeah, it didn't start out like that. So something like really interesting about this video is that like I started working on it after the teardrop video. Like that's when I announced that I was going to be making this video, was at the end of the teardrop video. I'm like, I'm gonna make a video reviewing and ranking every single episode of BFDI and every character, whatever. And I said that, and that was February 1st, 2023. Over an entire year later is when the video released. So something really, really interesting is like you can see the growth of my channel throughout the course of the video. So at the beginning, the writing and editing and recording is all very similar to how it was in the teardrop video, where it's like kind of basic. There's like the writing's not very funny, and you know, whatever. I think I actually like put a little note in the video that said like it gets better after BFDI, because I was so worried people were gonna leave after getting bored in season 1. But then as the video goes on, you know, I start to make more like funnier jokes. I figure out how to record properly with the proper lighting, and like the editing is like not terrible. So like I think it's something just really cool. So like you can see my video making process like evolve over the course of the entire video, over the course of that whole year. And like by the end of it, like when we get to like the parts I wrote, so like the character ranking in like later Teapot episodes, that's like very similar to how I am now. Meanwhile, season 1, when I talk about season 1, is like very basic in comparison. Not a whole lot of personality in those. And I think it just serves as like a really good time capsule of like that entire year, which I just thought that was something interesting. There's also, I don't know if any of you guys ever actually noticed, but there is actually an end credits scene to the video. I've not in a single comment have anyone ever mentioned it, so I don't know if people just like clicked off and didn't notice, which is like very possible. I mean, when the video is that long, you don't notice when there's like a little sliver that's still left to watch. But there is an end credits scene, so maybe you guys should go see it, because I think it's a really funny end credits scene. Alright, and I know that a lot of people were like, well, this is the Ultimate BFDI Retrospective, but you only go as far as BFDIA 14. What about Teapot 13s through 17? BFDI is 15 through 20 or whatever. And in response to that, it's like, did you want the video to ever come out? Like, with the amount I was saying about the later Teapot episodes, BFDIA episodes, as the video goes on, I start to say so much more about everything. We're to the point where, like, BFDIA 14 was legitimately, it took me 15 minutes to talk about that one episode. And if I included all the other Teapot episodes, all the other BFDIA episodes, all the shorts, all the songs, whatever, the video still wouldn't be fucking out. So, like, I know it sucks to have the video release and have, like, this big chunk of, like, missing content, but it was a necessary sacrifice to finish the video. And BFDIA 14 was originally not going to be part of the video at all. Like, I just added it in at the end. You know, an entire multiple days of writing and editing, which pushed things back more. And if I added everything else, dude, this thing, I don't think it would be out still. With the frequency that Jack and Jellyfy is releasing videos, I don't think it would be out yet. I'll still be catching up. I think I'd be like, still like Teapot 16 or something, man. I don't know. So something really weird about this video, like the making of, is I had this schedule, and every day I color everything yellow every day, and I can get this physical representation of how close I am to finishing it. And every day it gets closer and closer and closer, and every day my excitement just continues to build, and to the point where, like, the week before release I was like f***ing ecstatic. Like, I was excited, I was like jumping up and down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, the video releases in a week. Oh, after all this time it's finally gonna be out. Yes, I'm super excited, and the excitement has only gone up. It, like, exponential increase in excitement as I worked on the video up until the week before, where it peaked. And I don't know why. It's really weird. But after that, the excitement started to, like, dissipate. We're to the point where the day before, I'm just sitting there like, all right, yeah, releases tomorrow. And I was so confused because I didn't feel that excited. And I still don't know why, because it's just such a big video, such a big project, and something I'm really proud of. But I'm sitting there like, the video is like in the process of uploading the day before, and I'm looking at it and it's just like, yeah, it's coming out. And I don't know, I just thought I'd mention that because it was really weird, because I was so excited. Like, I could barely sleep the week before it released, and then, like, when I actually, like, hit upload the day of, it was just like, it's out. Alright, guess I get started on the next one. And I don't know, man, it's just like, it was just weird. I don't know. So speaking of the release of the video, I originally had it set up as a premiere. And the way the premiere works is that it'll appear on my channel and it'll just say, like, this video releases in however much time. And I wanted to do that so it would get more exposure, so people would see it like the day before and they'd start getting excited, and the video would have time to spread and more people would be able to see it before it actually released, like get a little jump start on views or whatever. But something I forgot about premieres is that when the time comes, they don't just release. What they do instead is that they stream. So the second it's supposed to upload, it starts playing like a live stream, and the video isn't, like, officially released in video form until the stream ends, which is a bit of an issue when the video is 7 fucking hours long. And I completely forgot that premieres worked like this. Like, I had it set like that, people were seeing it, and I went to read the comments, and, like, people were disappointed. They were like, oh, why do you have this as a premiere? I wanted to watch this at my own pace. I guess I'll just wait until the premiere finishes and then watch it. And at first I was confused, and then after 4 or 5 comments, I'm like, this is how fucking premieres work. So I'm, like, scrambling to cancel the premiere just to have it released normally. Like, oh my gosh. If I didn't get what those people were saying, this video could have flopped. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what would have happened, but it could have flopped. And that's scary to think about, which, honestly, I just want to check real quick. The video's at 121,000 views. If I go into the analytics here, so the video was a little slow to start off, which got me kind of worried. Like, I got you know, in the analytics it says like 5 out of 10, which means 4 videos have like performed better than it at the time for like the first few days. And that was scary. But like after like, that was only for a few hours though, actually, because after that, like it fucking rocketed up. And after 2 months, it hit 100,000 views, and it's still climbing. Like right now, it's at 121,000, and it's still been going up, which makes me very happy. By a very long shot, my most popular video. Oh shit! Hey, I didn't even notice this. Non-existing video is actually in second place at 39,000. That's kind of crazy. Oh damn! Actually, I haven't checked this in a while. It's weird because the TV video, old Teapot video, Animatic Battle, Teardrop, and Non-Existy, those 5 videos for kind of a while now, they've been like switching around in placements of like most popular. And that's just like, it's always keeping me on my toes. Like last time I checked, I think Teardrop was in second place, followed by Animatic, then Non-Existy. So now it's like, it's way different now. Non-Existy and Teardrop at 39,000, and then Animatic Battle is all the way down at 34,000. Dude, this pisses me off. This pisses me off. I'm looking at my videos right now, and like, you know, there are 9 videos on my channel that are still below 1,000 views. Which, like, I don't want to, like, beg for views or anything. Like, it happens, you know, like, some of these videos are pretty bad. But doing unlucky things on Friday the 13th, being the second least viewed video on the channel, like, come on, man. Come on. Dude, that's, like... Come on, that's not a bad video. It's important to the lore. It's the prequel to Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids, which actually didn't do that terrible, all things considered. I don't know, man. Disappoints me sometimes. Like, you know, like, some of these videos, it's like, yeah, less than 1,000 views. I do this one, damn. Breaks my heart, man. Breaks my heart, man. It really does. Anyway, what was I? I don't remember so much from this video. Like, I watched it, like, the last 2 weeks here, I watched the video so many times that I no longer have a desire to ever watch any part of it again. I have not watched through a substantial part of the ranking video since I released it. And because what I had to do, right, is I was terrified of copyright, like hitting copyright somewhere. So what I did is I had each video segment, BFDI, BFDIA, IDFB, pre-split, post-split, Teapot and BFDIA were split into 2 different ones. Then the character ranking, intro, outro, that's 10 different segments of the video that were each done in their own video editing files. So I had all 10 of those separate. And 2 weeks before, as I got them done, I would upload them onto the channel, like unlisted or private or whatever, just to check for copyright to make sure there's nothing there. And there was actually, I don't remember, oh no, I remember what it was. It was at the end of the Teapot ranking segment. There, I played the Stampy's Lovely World theme. And what I wanted to do for each of the end of the season ranking segments, there's no, like, I show the ranking of each episode in the season and there's music that plays. I wanted that music to be of each of my favorite YouTubers. So let me pull this up real quick. So season 1 has So season 1 has Jarvis Johnson, season 2 is Ellis Mark, season 3 is Scott the Waz, pre-split is Alpha Oxtrot, post-split is Shay Frillis, Teapot is Diamond Bolt, oh my gosh, I can't think right now. What is it called? The BFDIA Revival had the Dead Meat outro. There was the end of episode reviews where, like, there's like the statistics or whatever. I was gonna have Stampy's Lovely World theme. That was actually copyrighted, so I had to switch it out. I forget what I changed it to. But that was the only part of copyright I had to deal with, thankfully. So that was good. That was all good. But I checked each individual part because I was so scared. And if there had been a part of the video that was copyrighted, I would just mute it. Like, I would have no choice. I would just have to mute it. Like, in the outro here, I wanted to play a song from Pokemon Legends Arceus. And I had it play for, like, a little bit as was, like, the end title card. But then I have it cut out and have a different song start playing that was copyright free. Because I was so scared that the entire outro was going to get flagged for copyright and I would have to mute the entire outro, which would have been awful. But thankfully, no problems with copyright. Still have had no problems. So, very thankful for that. That is As of right now, I can't think of anything else I have to say, but like, ask me again in like a week. I could probably tell you another like 20 stories, man. I mean, it's 3 months. It took me 3 months, dude. There's some interesting stuff there. I just can't think of it all right now. I don't know if I just like repressed it all, or if like the slog and monotony of making that video just like reduced my memory or something. That's all I can give you right now, though. Oh, actually, one more thing. I know you're probably thinking, you're looking at this schedule like, holy shit, every day for 3 months you're working on this? You must have been pretty burnt out. That never really happened. I have very few times in my time in YouTube have I ever gotten burnt out. There was the one time where I missed the day of editing. That kind of burnt me out for a few days. I went through it and it was fine in the end. That was the only time during this video. The only other time I can think of being burnt out was the AIB video and Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids. Those are the only times. Other than that, though, I freaking love making videos, dude. Cause like it's hard to get burnt out when I'm doing what I love. Like if I could make YouTube a job, I would. Unfortunately, I can't. But yeah. Dude, 3 months. 3 months, man. Oh, look, even if you, I forgot about this. You scroll down on the schedule thing here. There's actually some interesting stuff here. Oh, yeah, there's the community post where it just says, oh, you know, that I remember that. That community post went fucking hard. Hold on, let me find that real quick. So I'd have these, every episode of BFDI ranked progress reports. And it would like, there's these like little pie charts and they'd fill out with how much, with how much of the video I had done. So I say that I'm going on break, and I didn't come back with the teaser trailer. I came back with this post. So a lot of the real fans, I guess I could say, I don't know, they probably remember these posts, and I said I was gonna make one every month. But after 3 months, you know, I'm like, all right, I'm going on break. And then, so channel is completely silent for months. And then just to hit them with everything being completely filled, overall done 100%, and the fucking date of release, dude, that shit goes so hard. I was like so happy to release that. Oh my gosh, dude, because like, what a tough way to come back. Like, I don't want to brag, but what a tough way to come back. Absolute nothing for 3 months basically to come back with all of these iconic pie charts completely filled out with 3/6/25. Dude, that's just, dude. I remember the day I posted, I was so happy. I was so happy to have this post out. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, but then anyway, scrolling down here on the schedule doc, you can see like some of the planning I had here to have everything released. Like I didn't want to forget everything. I wrote down to make sure I had the pinned comment. And here you can see like a little bit of a breakdown of everything. So see here, look, the intro was done after BFB pre-split because the intro was the last thing I wrote. I wrote BFDIA 14, I wrote the character segments, I wrote the outro, then I wrote the intro. Then, like, the intro was one of the last things I recorded. It wasn't the last thing, but it was one of the last things. I recorded the intro after the outro, I remember that. Yeah, look, I had this big old checklist to make sure everything was perfect. Dude, I would have been damned if any of this was wrong with all the work. Aw, dude, this is like, I haven't thought about so much of this in so long. Okay, I talked about this one enough, and I'm sure there'll probably be more questions about it in the Q&A. I don't know. So I'll leave it here, and we'll move on to the next one. With the amount of time that I spent on the Ultimate BFDI Retrospective, I did not at all want it to be a failure. So I had a thought, why not make a bunch of shorts out of the certain review segments from the video and just mark it like that? I think it's a pretty good idea, but like after 2 shorts, I just had to tap out. The original idea was to do 10 shorts for the 10 days following the upload. But like after 87 days of straight work, I just did not have the energy. Like I remember like waking up and like the thought of sitting down and editing for like not even that long, like maybe like 10 minutes to convert into short form. It is like, I did not at all want to do that. Now the Webs Revs one, that one was just for fun, man. The Ultimate BFDI Retrospective featured 3 original songs, 2 of which I had commissioned off Fiverr, and the 3rd I actually composed myself. So yeah, I know the title is kind of a lie, but like, what sounds better? Every song I made for the Ultimate BFDI Retrospective, or every song I had created for the Ultimate BFDI Retrospective? I really like how all the songs ended up turning out, but like the music visualizer I used for the video was just really low quality, but I was just too lazy to change it. As I mentioned earlier, this is yet another complete joke video. So basically, when I was making the BFDI ranking, the Badboyhalo and CG5 song Muffin entered my recommended. You know, and I remembered, like, looking back to the good old days of 2020, I remember the song, and for old time's sake, I gave it a listen. And like, dude, that song, that music video is just so funny to me. Like, the lyrics, the animation, like, all of it is just, like, it's so good. It's so funny. And I knew that I needed a topic for the upcoming April Fool's video, so like it really just like worked out perfectly. I think that this video is like a really good evolution of the Kobo video from last year's April Fool's Day. Like kind of just like absolutely hyping up this like random piece of media for no reason. Except this time, the only joke is that I made a 21-minute video about a 4-minute song. I do genuinely find this music video to be really funny though, like completely seriously, like it is so funny to me. So I say that this is the April Fool's video, but it was released on April 21st. I had vacation from spring break and I was still recovering from the BFDI rankings, so I just wanted to take a break for a while. And like theoretically, I could have just absolutely gotten to work and had the video released on April 1st, 20 days earlier. But I was like, I took my sweet ass time. I only ever wrote and edited when I was in the mood. Like if there was a day where I just absolutely did not feel like working on the video at all, I just didn't. I just would not work on it. And because of that, I only ever worked on the video when I was like really feeling it. Like when I really like actually wanted to work on the video was when I was working on it, which definitely led to the video being like super polished because I was in a good mindset the entire time of making it, which is not the case a lot of the time. This is for sure one of my favorite videos ever made, and I think I already have a really good idea on what I want to do next year. Then there's a few quick things I want to mention real quick. So unlike Creepsington last year, CG5 nor Badboyhalo commented on the video. Honestly, man, like as big as those channels are, you kind of gotta expect it, but there was a little bit of me that was really wishing one of them would see it. Oh, and by the way, I actually did get a copyright claim on that video from not only Muffin, but also the Murder Drone song. And that song is bad. So during the dream section, I talk about the controversy with the ender pearls and the piglin trading. I didn't do any research. I was too lazy to do any research on that, but I figured it was fine because it was the April Fool's video. There was a cut segment from the video. It was right before I talked about Captain Puffy for the first time, and what it was gonna be is I was gonna say this like really inspirational quote from someone, and the text was gonna be on screen, and then I'm just dissecting the quote, and the letters from the quote they would move down and spell out Captain Puffy, and then I would like lose my mind over it. I'd be like, fuck, no, or whatever. And I recorded it and everything, but I got to editing and I was looking at it and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like it was pretty mechanically advanced for a joke that isn't really all that funny. Like I would have had to individually have every letter be in its own text box, and would have to have them perfectly rearranged into the like it was too much work for like not even that funny of a joke, and I just cut it out and the script still flows perfectly fine. There was a joke where I spilled popcorn all over the fucking floor. Oh my gosh. There was so much on the floor I had to clean up. Like I could probably okay, I can't find any now. I think I got them all. But like a week after that, I was still finding the little kernels all in my carpet. And like I got thick carpet. Like I would just rub my hands on it and I would find a few kernels. Like it was annoying. And I wish I had made the joke better to make it worth it. I think it's a little dampened by the volume problem. Whatever. There was the one part where I said okay thanks in a weird voice.
Hey, Bad, if you're watching this, I don't know if this video is gonna get a copyright claim, but if it does, can you remove it for me, please? Okay, thanks.
And there was meant to be a clip there, but I couldn't find it. So I just had to go with it. And then it just sounds weird. So what it was supposed to be was that there's a clip from the game, The Class of '09, where Nicole says, okay, thanks, like just like how I do in the video. And that's what I meant to put in. But who would have guessed that writing Class of '09, okay, thanks into YouTube doesn't really get you anything? And I was not about to skim through like the 9 hours of total content from those games to find the one clip I needed. It was not worth it. There's a reference to the first ever video I made. At the end of the top 10 lines section, I play Willy Wonka and I go, I mean, come on! And that's a reference to the ending of Ranking Every US State, where in that video, it's the same thing. I get to number 1, and then I just say, I mean, come on. And you know, I think that's a good callback. That's a very teapot level type of reference, because it's so pointless and stupid, and most people aren't even gonna notice it. But I liked it.
I mean, come on!
I mean, come on! There's also this alternate thumbnail I almost did with, that would have been, so there's the animatic battle thumbnail, and then I did the Kobu thumbnail, which was an edit of that, and I was gonna have the Muffin video be an edit of the Kobu video. They're like, no, it's kind of funny. Well, it's not even that funny. Pretty shit thumbnail. So I changed it to the other one. I think that looks a lot better. And finally, there's the voting screen. And I was considering making a little mini object show with the characters I had on there. And I was going to use the voting screen as a start. I even have most of the first episode written, which you can read this if you want. I don't really care. But between Worst Trends, the second channel, the object show, and now there's another series I'm thinking about making, adding just a little joke show to the pile didn't seem very appealing after a while. So I'm gonna reveal the votes now. Let me pull them up. It was vote to save. There was 21 votes. First one safe, there's you with 6 votes. Followed by Nuclear Bomb with 5, and Worsty with 3. Next is CG5 with 2, Pomni with 2, and Skeppy also with 2 votes. Now it's down to Badboyhalo and Captain Puffy. Really didn't expect this final 2, I gotta say. One of them got 1 vote, and the other got 0 votes. Captain Puffy is eliminated with 0 votes. Ooh, unfortunate. Stupid. You guys ever just get really bored sometimes? I don't know, man. I had like nothing going on one day, so I pulled out Tier Maker and just decided to bitch about Bottle. This was actually a really fun video to make. Like, I get why so many YouTubers make videos like this. Well, I mean, I guess that, but also because it's easy and popular. The only reason that I'm mentioning this one now instead of during the speedrun earlier is because this one's actually going to be important a little bit down the road, a little later down the road. The Greek Tragedy of Barf Bag. Alright, so I really liked the title of this video, The Greek Tragedy of Barf Bag. I thought was really funny, and I was really proud of myself for coming up with such a creative title. And then, like a week ago, I realized that I unintentionally stole it from Chazington. And like, that just like kind of sucks. That just kind of sucks, dude. I thought I had a good one. Obviously, the thumbnail is a reference to the LS Smart Chris Griffin video, and the only reason I did that is because I put the thumbnail of the Chris Griffin video in my TV video. So I was thinking about it, and I already had the idea to make a video on Barf Bag with this title, like when I made the TV video. And I thought, wouldn't it be genius if I just remade the LS Mark thumbnail, but with Barf Bag? And you know what? I think it's a decent thumbnail. I'm gonna look at it real quick. I think it's pretty good. I try to be very faithful to the actual LS Mark thumbnail. I even have like the background like start to blur as it moves to the left. You know, man, I guess I just plagiarized a lot. Anyway, though, I made this video for easy views, but like it didn't even print me money. I thought this one would get like 20,000 views at the least, but like not even close. Which was really surprising because it was the first BFDI video after the ultimate ranking. So I thought a lot more people would see it. Like I thought like all 5,000 subscribers watch it immediately, and then the algorithm would be like, oh man, gotta show this to everyone else. But like, I think it's only at like 11,000 views right now, which is, I know it's good views, but like for a BFDI video that released not long after a 7-hour ranking that got 100,000 plus views, a little underperformed, I'd say. I don't know, this is like a nothing video anyway. Like, it's not entirely void of good aspects, but it's just like, whatever. I put a lot of fluff into the script because I wanted the video to get to 8 minutes so I could do mid-roll ads, but I made it too long. Like, it hit 11 minutes long when it was only supposed to be like, I wanted 8 minutes and 1 second was the goal. Like, and dude, you can tell, like, there's so much unnecessary stuff. Like, there's the pre-split nostalgia tangent and like the Dale Carnegie thing I talk about that just like, they did not have to be there. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. I actually have a huge announcement regarding the OSC when I make my next object show video. So you can try to guess what it is, but I think it's gonna be really cool, at least for me. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Alright, the BFDI Season 6 cast. So, I had a lot of fun making the Teapot My Way video, because I was just like talking about the show completely unfiltered, and that was fun. So I thought, like, I want to do something like that again. And I remember that poll I put out like a long time ago for like, vote for the Season 6 cast that I just never did anything with. The original idea for that was that I was gonna do an animation where Worsty goes to Teapot World and like reads out the votes, and it would have been cool. But I was like, nah. So I decided instead that I would put the poll in the description of the Barf Bag video so more people would see it, and then I would just read out the votes in Tier Maker like I did before. And like, I was kind of wrong, like the video wasn't nearly as fun to make as the other one. I was kind of bored towards the end, because it's completely void of like any of my opinion. It's just reading votes for the most part, and like I thought it was fine, whatever, and like I threw the thumbnail together in like 15 seconds. I make all my thumbnails in a program called Canva, and the way Canva works is that I am so sorry about this chair. I know it's been creaking the whole video and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm really sorry, guys. And the way Canva works is that any image you've ever used in the program will be saved on like a little bar on the side. So I found like the BFD background, put it on, and then just found like 3 random PNGs of BFDI characters I had on there, and I just like broke Season 6 cast. Actually probably took me 15 seconds to make that thumbnail, but I guess it was a good one because it got 22,000 views. And dude, like I was watching, like after a couple of days, like it was pretty low, but then it started shooting up, and like it was getting really good views, and that started to scare me. Like it was going so fast that I thought it was gonna overtake the ultimate BFDI ranking. I was so scared of that, and I decided that if it hit 20,000 views, I was gonna private it so it wouldn't pass the ranking. I know what you're thinking, it's like, well, why does it matter if it gets more views than that? Because it's still your video that's getting views and you're getting watch time and money or whatever off of that. But the thing is, it's more of like about my dignity. Like if I spent years of my life making a 7-hour video that gets really good views, and then I sit at a computer for 2 hours and post a basically unedited recording that gets double that, I would feel like shit. That would be terrible. And like it hit 20,000 and I was so close to privating it. Like I was like staring at the screen like about to hit private, but I didn't, and then immediately after it plateaued, and it's like it's barely gone up since. It's been at like, it's only gone up 2,000 views in like the past 3 weeks or so, I don't remember. There's also, someone made a version of the BFDIA voting screen thing with the votes from this video. Gaming Bros Theo is who made it, and it was really cool. Like he took the BFDIA thing and he like made it into the new votes, and it looks really good. Like it looks right out of the show. I don't know how they did it, but it looks very cool. And the absolute trooper, totaled up the amount of all votes, which I could not even be bothered to do. So honestly, man, hats off to you. I forgot what I said about this one earlier, so I apologize if I repeat myself. Alright, first thing I want to say about this video is that it's only part 1. I originally had this, like, after Team Jingles, I was like, alright, I want to make a full video about this. And I had this list of like a few stories I want to talk about. But as the video kept getting pushed back, I kept adding more and more things to the list, to the point where when I finally went to make it last month, it's like, damn, quite a bit of stuff here. And I'm like writing the script and I'm like, okay, it's getting a little bit long. After I wrote burgers and fries, the plush video part, I was like, all right, you know what, dude, this is too much for one video. And I have this, I actually wrote this equation using my previous scripts, word counts, and length to make this equation that will like determine how long a video will be based off of the word count. And it's very, very accurate. So let's go right here. Let's go to my script of this, and I'm going to get the word count of everything that was actually part of the video, and we're gonna see how accurate it was. All right, so as you can see here, this whole section was 8,227 words. So now if we go here, 8,227 words, 41 minutes and 41 and a quarter minutes. And if we go to the actual video, pretty accurate. That's good. And it's only gonna get more accurate with the more data that I add. But in terms of like the extra minute, it was from this. It's from the end here. Okay, we're getting a fucking ad. But yeah, look, if you take away the ending bit, which wasn't actually in the script, then that's 42 minutes long. That's only 45 seconds off of the actual product. Like, this equation predicted 41 minutes, 15 seconds, and it ended up 42 minutes. That's pretty accurate. That's pretty fucking accurate. So, I forgot, what was my point? What was I saying this? Oh, okay. So, yeah, it was too long. It was too long, and I got to this point, and it's like, all right, it's gonna be 40 minutes long at this point, which I thought it was gonna be like a 20, maybe 30-minute video. But I get here, and it's like, all right, 40 minutes long, and I still have like how many stories to talk about? All right, part 2 is not gonna have nearly as many stories, but 2 of the stories in part 2, so much to talk about. Like this one might be another half-hour long one. I'm not completely sure. Maybe I'll say more, because like I've got my notes here. It's like already multiple pages just off notes. And I'm sure I'll find more stuff to say. It's gonna be another long one. And as for part 2, I do have like a tentative release date for when that's gonna come out. I'm not gonna say anything about that, my plans. I've got a little Google Doc here that's got like a whole table of the next whole set of videos I'm gonna make, and part 2 of DDLC Fan Stories is on there, and I do definitely plan to make it, but I'm not gonna say anything about it or any of the other videos here for obvious reasons. It's very possible that the video takes much longer to make than I have scheduled, for the sole reason that I'm gonna be moving out to college in the fall, and that's definitely gonna put a bit of a damper on my plans, which I'm gonna get into that a little bit later in this video. I'm gonna talk about the future. But yeah. All right, and here is the big one. On this video, I received a comment from Vanamelon. Yes, that's correct. Vanamelon. How many subscribers does she have? 1.7 million subscribers. Isn't it fucking crazy that only 3.3 thousand people saw this video? Not that many, a very small fraction of the human population, but one of those 3,000 people was fucking Vanamelon? That's insane. That is absolutely, what are the odds? Like, okay, there are so many videos about DDLC on this website. Like, what are the odds that specifically my video appears in her recommendations? What are the odds that she actually decides to click on it and watch the video? What are the odds that she keeps watching until her portion of the video? Because like, unlike other videos, like the April Fool's video, I didn't put anyone's in the description. Like, this has to be like some sort of divine intervention. And like, I kind of figured that maybe like one of the relatively smaller ones, like maybe Yandere Gaming or like Candelia, maybe they would see the video, considering like their whole lives revolve around this game. But like, Vanamelon does videos on so many things, like so many different things. So like, just how? So like, I'm wondering if like she even found the video naturally, or if one of her viewers told her about it, because the odds of her finding it and watching to her portion to comment are so slim. Like, it makes me think that maybe one of you guys informed her about it. I don't know. So yeah, I do talk about Vandermelon in this video. And like, alright, there are a lot of times where I say something about a YouTuber in a video, they comment, and then I'm like profusely apologizing because I think I was too mean in the video. But with Vandermelon, yeah, no, I'm sticking with what I said.
That's Vandermelon's main thing. She makes reactions to random YouTube videos, including her own. Twice. Well, that and the Rule 34 bait. There's a lot of Rule 34 bait.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know, man. She's just one of those people where I can't decide if she's really cool or one of the cringiest people on the planet. I'm leaning on the latter. Because she makes some really cool stuff every once in a while, but in between all that cool stuff is just smash or pass on X, Y character Googles herself, Pizza Tower, but it's Pinkie Pie. Wait, what the fuck? Like, I understand that this is just the YouTube grind and sex sells and all, but is this really what you want your legacy to be? This?
I think everything I said here is very fair, a very fair critique of her channel, and I'm not even overly mean. I think it's just like I think I worded things well. I'm a lot of the time I'm not happy with. I talk about a YouTuber and they see it, I regret what I said, but I'm not this time. I think my critiques were valid. I think they were fair. I wasn't overly negative. I also complimented her, and she knows the kind of channel she has. She knows the channel. Which, by the way, this is a very Vandermelon-ass comment. Like, I don't know what the fuck this means, but like, yeah, this is the type of thing Vandermelon would comment. And this was the first video I made after school was let out, and I was so excited to be able to work on a video like at my own pace without like any sort of dictation from anything else from school or anything. So like I locked in. Like this whole 40-minute video was made in like 2 weeks. And a lot of that is part of like the script being mostly complete. Like when I got to make the video, it was like I have like so many notes where all I really had to do was like rearrange them and like add in transitions or whatever. So the script writing was very fast. I kept what I did for the ultimate BFDI ranking. I edited 5 minutes every day, and it took a week. Took a week to edit the whole video. So yeah, really, like always, recording is the only hurdle. But even then, yeah, it was summer by then, so I had like a lot more time. And I mentioned it earlier, but part 3, I think I don't want to make any promises because I hate doing that, but I think there's a very strong possibility that DDLC fan stories get a part 3 because it's so fun. Like I love the characters, but I love watching these stories because like, yeah, there's a lot of like stupid funny stuff, but there's also like so much like genuine great stuff. And I found a lot more of this like super like actually high quality stuff after making part 1. So I've got a list of things here, and part 3 would also be very long. But yeah, very strong possibility of part 3 that I think would be a lot more different. It would be more than just fan stories. Like I have like, all right, so mainly what I have for part 1 and 2 are just gonna be like those mod videos where whatever happens, and the list for stuff I got for part 3, it's more of those for sure, but like I've got animations on here, I've got like songs, I've got like a lot of different stuff on here, and at this point part 3 would be less about DDLC fan stories and more just like DDLC fan content, which, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'll ever get bored of this. If I'll ever get bored of this subject, I don't know, man. Could be a while till I make part 3, because again, I don't want to have a DDLC video, another video, DDLC, another video, like, you know, I don't want it to get repetitive. And another thing, I want to keep things more split up, because if, let's say, a DDLC video gets super popular, I make another one, that gets super popular, and I'm stuck in the same trap as I was with BFDI, where now I'm making DDLC videos exclusively. I don't want to fall into that again. But yeah, DDLC fan stories, for sure, one of my favorite videos I've ever made. I think it's got a lot of good jokes. I think it's a good video. I really like it. But, yeah, stay tuned for part 2. Alright, and here we are, the final video of the year. Thereafter me, parentheses scary games, parentheses. Alright, so I don't actually have that much to say about this one. There's more to talk about around the video than the actual video itself, which, first thing, get this out of the way. So there's the piece of paper that says, play a horror game or die, or whatever. And that's not the same piece of paper as the first Scary Games video, which, like, pull up the thing. It's not the same paper, but pretty damn near identical. Like, I pulled it up on here. I pulled up the original one. I took my pencil, my marker or whatever, and I did my best to, like, perfectly replicate it. I think I did a pretty good job. I don't know, man. No one ever in the history of Earth would have ever noticed. That's so stupid. Why am I talking about this? Okay, so this video is kind of a filler episode. Like, I made this video for two reasons. For one, for the opening scene, and two, to set up a future video. So I'll admit that I wasn't very invested in this video's success because, like, it didn't really matter to me. Like, I still try to make it like a fun, entertaining video, and I still hope some people enjoyed it. And I'm happy if someone did enjoy it, but it's just like this one video in a vacuum is just a filler episode. The purpose of the video was just to, like, give me something kind of easy to work on while I made the anniversary video. And I still wanted to have something come out in June other than DDLC. I wanted another video out in June, and I knew that I would have to make this video at some point, so I figured, you know what, I can just do that now because I don't have to write a script. I can record in a single day, and editing would be pretty easy. I could just take my time on the editing, which I did. So I do kind of feel bad that saying like this video isn't important, but I mean, all that really matters is the opening scene, pretty much. There's also the end credits scene where it takes place after Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids. Wow, I guess I did it. Kind of feel like talking about BFDI now. Where I break the mirror and then all the plushies fall out. And I originally intended that to be the end credits of Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids. So, like, after the credits on the Halloween video, it would play what would pretty much be the same end credits scene minus the line about BFDI. So I did end up scrapping that though, just because, like, it kind of ruined, like, the peaceful ending of Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids. Like, you got this big dramatic, like, thing so dark and dreary at the end of the video, and then it cuts to this nice peaceful outside with the shard of the mirror in the grass, and it's like birds chirping, the wind's blowing, it's all nice and bright for the first time in the video. And cutting to, like, a silly little end credit scene after that did feel like a little wrong. So I scrapped it from there and I thought, put it here. But then there's the opening scene, which is, like, yeah, again, it's the only part that really matters to me in this whole video. I don't know if anyone actually cares. I don't know if anyone cares about the lore I've been setting up throughout all of this. Like, I don't really care, though. If no one cares, if not a single human on this earth cares about this lore, I don't care. I don't care if they do, because it's fun for me. I don't care if they do, because it's fun for me. I like it, and I like this little story I've been doing. And yeah, the lore has been getting more, like, fully realized lately, and I don't know, man, we're getting closer. Closer to what? I won't say, but yeah, definitely getting closer. Alright, and that's going to be it for the video reviews, and now we can move into part 2 of the video rankings. So on the same community post where I asked people for Q&A questions, I had a poll where people could vote for their favorite videos of mine. But before we get right into that, I actually want to give my own ranking of my videos, so that way I can get the results from the viewers and kind of compare and contrast, see, like, what's going on, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to give you my ranking real quick, and then we'll get into the votes. Alright, starting at number 40 is Every Wimpy Kid book ranked. Skylanders Collection Showcase. Teapot is getting worse. Stop lying. Winter sucks. The Amazing Digital Circus is the greatest thing ever. Statistically determining the best host setting. I was wrong about Teapot. The perplexing problems of the Mario timeline, explaining every unexplained FNAF animatronic. Every FNAF animatronic ranked. The FNAF movie isn't great. Every US state ranked. BFDIA 6 destroys everything we know about BFDI. A very scary Christmas. Wimpy Kid No Brainer is a franchise low point. AIB, from underwhelming to underappreciated. They're After Me. Change of plans. Non-exist, you deserve better. Top 10 BFDI eliminations. Doing unlucky things on Friday the 13th. Does the amazing digital Circus pilot still hold up? Cran Object Battle Universe is the greatest object show. What happened to Evil Leafy? Voting methods and object shows and how to fix them. Actually, Burner isn't peak. The Greek tragedy of Barf Bag. I hate Teardrop. The Andy and Lele rant. Okay, animatic battle is great. Smart American proves stereotypes aren't true. Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids. Digital Circus 2. Something about the greatest thing ever. Okay, how is TV this popular? I tried every water brand. The ultimate BFDI retrospective. The insane world of DDLC fan stories. That time Badboyhalo made a song about Muffins. My Apology To APOY. And ranking every team Jingle and BFDI. Alright, and what I try to do for this ranking is be a little bit more objective. Like, it's somewhat off of my opinion of what videos I think are good and bad, but I also think, like, how good a video is objectively is also important. So, like, a video like the host settings video, I do like a lot more than 35th place, but it is objectively a bad video, which is why it's so low. And so there is a little bit of my opinion in there for sure, but I try to be a little bit more objective in like what I personally believe to be the best videos I've made. And so not my favorite, but the best videos to worst, not favorite to least favorite. Even though there is for sure some opinion influenced into here. Alright, so that was my ranking, and I took that and I made that into a tier list, as you'll see right here, and we're gonna get back to that in a little bit. But as I said before, I don't remember if I said it before, but I asked everyone to fill out a form of all of my videos and vote on your favorite ones. And if I actually remember to pull it up here, we got 555 votes from 74 voters. And every voter was allowed to choose up to 10 videos that they thought were their favorites. And now I'm going to list them off from least votes to most votes. Alright, so there were 2 videos that got only 1 vote each, and it was very close. One of them was close to getting 0 votes. It was like right at the end there. Someone finally voted for it. It was the Skylanders Collection Showcase and the perplexing problems of the Mario timeline. Skylanders one, I totally get it. It's still have no idea why I decided to make that video. And then the Mario video I'm a little bit more surprised out because I think that's probably one of my better earlier videos, but it's still not good. Followed by a very scary Christmas with only 2 votes, and then Smart American proves stereotypes aren't true with a whopping 3. This one kind of sucks, I've said it before, because I do think that's a decent video. But you know what? Sometimes people don't understand masterpieces sometimes. Then after that is explaining every unexplained FNAF animatronic, every FNAF animatronic ranked, and They're After Me, all at 4 votes. The newest video only got 4 votes, and you know what? It's for the reasons that I talked about it earlier for. I'm not surprised. Then every Diary of a Wimpy Kid book ranked. 5 people voted for that? What the hell? Clearly, they must have like Mandela affected themselves because there is no way in hell this is anyone's 10th, even 10th favorite video. Also with 5 votes is Stop Lying, Winter Sucks, the FNAF movie isn't great, and Change of Plans. Up with 6 votes is The Amazing Digital Circus is the greatest thing ever. 6 too many in my opinion. I was wrong about Teapot, No Brainer is a franchise low point, and Doing Unlucky Things on Friday the 13th with only 7 votes each. Again, doing unlucky things on Friday the 13th, I probably deserve some more love. Like, you know, there's some videos that I think deserve less love. This is one of the ones I think deserves more because, you know what? It's a big lore video. The first lore video. That's not true. Second lore video. Teapot is getting worse. The iconic original Teapot video. And then Burner isn't peak. 8 votes. Up with 9 is BFDIA 6 destroys everything we know about BFDI, AIB from underwhelming to underappreciated, and top 10 BFDI eliminations. What happened to Evil Leafy at 10, every US state ranked, the Andy and Lele rant at 11. Alright, so this is kind of off topic, but the coffin of Andy and Lele, I haven't checked in a while, but there is going to be a chapter 3. and I think that's something I would want to make a video on. I don't know, man. It's I just find that game so damn interesting, but I'll save the rant for if I actually make that video. We got 3 videos at 12 with statistically determining the best host setting, does the amazing digital Circus pilot still hold up, and Korean Object Battle Universe is the greatest object show. Digital Circus 2 is something about the greatest thing ever at 13, Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids at only 15, alongside my Apology To APOY. Damn, those 2 videos were done dirty. Okay, how is TV this popular? I tried every water brand at 17 votes each. I've made it like a big joke at this point, where it's like, I tried every water brand, this is my most underrated video of all time. Out of the 17 people that voted for it, how many do you think actually watched the video? Genuine question, because I think it's probably only like a couple. Voting methods and object shows on how to fix them at 18 votes? What? What? That video, really? I mean, really? I find that strange. I really find that strange. And now we are down to our final 8, and these are the big ones. These are 20 votes and more. All right, so we got number 8 and number 7 here, both at 23 votes. The Greek Tragedy of Barf Bag and OK Animatic Battle was great. Both, I think, are decent videos. Definitely wouldn't say my favorites, but you know what? I don't mind that they're up here. 6th with 27 votes is Non-Existy Deserve Better. And honestly, I think that's a decent video. Going back to it, it's okay. But I think the thumbnail does the heavy lifting, because I cooked, guys. I cooked on that thumbnail. To this day, I think that's probably still the best thumbnail I've ever made. Like, let me pull it up real quick. Like, look at that. The composition. You have the 2 spotlights coming down on winner and price tag. Very indicative of the original Teapot debut, where the same thing happens on winner and Non-Existy, except this time it's showing that winner and price tag are in the spotlight. Meanwhile, Non-Existy is nowhere to be seen on the thumbnail, which, yes, I know he's non-existent, but you get the idea. You get the symbolism. And then cheated and big ass words right on the top. Really sells it. Absolute killer thumbnail, guys. I make a lot of shit thumbnails, but that's not one of them. I'm allowed to be proud of the thumbnails I've made before anyone says anything. In top 5, and these are 30 votes and more. These are the big ones. Right here, number 5, The Insane World of DDLC Fan Stories. And I really like that such a recent video, in a video I really love myself, made it up so high. I really like that. Oh, sorry, that was 30 votes. Number 4, ranking every team Jingle in BFDI with 34 votes. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's just a damn good video. And like, that's not even like the water video. I don't even mention it, that it's my favorite. So that's like purely off of the video itself. Top 3, 40 votes and above. And at number 3, that time Badboyhalo made a song about Muffins. And you know what, dude? I gave that one 3rd place as well. That's a damn good video, I gotta say, man. I probably sound like such an asshole. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I don't think my videos are like high art or anything, but there's some videos I personally really enjoy, and videos that I'm very proud of, and Badboyhalo, definitely one of them. Number 2, with 45 votes, I don't know if I mentioned it, Badboyhalo had 41, is I Hate Teardrop. So something interesting, I was checking the votes every couple of hours. I would come back and check the votes, and I Hate Teardrop started very low, and it started for the first 2 days or so, it was like, it stayed in 5th place, behind DDLC, behind Non-Existy even. But what's really interesting, as time went on, like, it was an exponential growth, all the way up to where it got to number 2. I find that really interesting, because I don't think that's like as insane of a video. I mean, it's pretty important in the history of the channel, but on its own, I don't know. I would say it's probably, well, here's the thing with I Hate Teardrop video. There is such a fine dividing line between Teardrop video and everything before it. I believe that I Hate Teardrop is the first video I made that's like actually good, I guess is the word. I'm kind of looking for a different word here. Competent. There we go. It's the first competent video I ever made. I don't think a lot of the stuff in this video is good, but it is good enough. The editing, the audio, the writing, it works. It's watchable for sure. And that really, it's such a strange thing to happen, because everything before it is so different. Like, such a fine line, huge dividing line in between those 2 eras, where it's like suddenly out of nowhere, such a comprehensible video comes out after like such a slew of like nonsense, and I don't know, man, it's quite interesting. But yeah, number one, I mean, who would have guessed, is the ultimate BFDI retrospective with a whopping 60 votes. 81% of all voters voted for this, and you know what? I'm not remotely mad. It's by far my biggest video. It's for probably my magnum opus, for sure, at least for now. And yeah, it's the largest video in OSC history as far as I know, so it makes sense for it to be number one. And similarly to my ranking, I did go and make that ranking into a tier list. I try to kind of go not just off the ranking, but with the vote counts. Where you see on the bottom here are like the single digiters, then in the teens, 20s, 30s, and then right at the top, you got the retrospective with 60 votes, whole 15 more than second place. And yeah, that's that. And what I did was I took both of my ranking and the viewers' ranking, and I numbered them 1 to 40 in my ranking, and then 1 to 40 in the amount of votes. And I averaged out the placements, and using those average placements, we can find out like what, going off of objective video quality from my ranking as well as personal opinion and what the viewers like, we can find like what is objectively the best videos I've ever made. And so I made the tier list with everything averaged out, and this is what it looks like. Yeah, it's Team Jingles. And I think I kind of did the heavy lifting on that because it got like what? It got 4th place actually, so not bad. Muffin got 3rd place in both rankings. And yeah, man, I think this is it. This is the official objective creator and viewers worst trends video tier list. There you go. All right, here we are, the Q&A. So I did this last year, and last year I answered every single question I was asked, and it took a while to record. And this year I assume I have more questions. I don't know for sure, I didn't really check, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna ignore questions I don't think are all that worth answering. So I asked in the post not to do any likes, dislikes, favorite, least favorite types of questions. So to hopefully have like actually better questions from people, and also to save some time potentially. So I made sure that I would have the best possible questions I could for this video. So the first one I got is, what's your favorite color? Dude, come on! The first question. It's yellow. If YouTube never existed, what would you do with your life? I have no fucking clue. I was raised on YouTube so much of my life. Like, when I was a kid, I would watch so much YouTube, probably more than I ever should have. So I would probably be a completely different person, dude. I really couldn't tell you because it's so deeply rooted in my existence. I don't know, man. What do you think about the weather today? It's fair. Okay, here's a big one. Do you think that FNAF Security Breach was one of the worst FNAF games, or do you think that the DLC saved an amount of it? That was question 1. I think Security Breach is probably one of, if not the worst game I've ever played. I did not play the DLC. I've heard good things about it. I watched a little bit of it, and it looks decent. The DLC looks different. Looks decent. But the original base game, there's nothing you can really do to save it at this point. I think the DLC can be its own thing and just like kind of be its own little cool adventure, little epilogue kind of thing. Or I guess more of a prelude to Secret of the Mimic, but you know what? Security Breach is for sure the worst FNAF game by a long shot. Is the not going to talk about inanimate insanity going to be temporary, or are you going to actually not talk about it? I'm curious, what do you think about inanimate insanity so I can see its flaws I haven't seen before. Inanimate insanity, I don't think is a good show. I think it's very overrated, but the reason I don't talk about it is because it's just okay, trying to think of a way to phrase this. The reasons that I don't like inanimate insanity are reasons that other people do like inanimate insanity. And I feel like if I were to talk about it, I'll get a lot of comments that are just like, yeah, that's the point, or you just don't get it, some stuff like that. And also, I'll be honest, it would be a very negative video, and I think a lot of people would not take it well. So that's why I don't talk about inanimate insanity. It's probably the only object show that I actively dislike. Whereas like other shows like open source objects or like whatever, I don't know, I can't think of any right now, that are just like I'm neutral to, I don't really care for, but it's just like whatever. But Anime Insanity, that's Post Split would be worse if Teardrop won. Well, I think with the Teardrop winning Post Split could have worked if they continued what they did for Pre-Split. If they had her little like arc about her against, it was basically in the first few episodes of Pre-Split, it was Teardrop versus the world. Like nothing was going right for her, and it seemed like she was completely alone, and that was the thing they were going with. And I think if they stuck like that for Post-Split and she was just like had to be on her own, I think that the challenge like beast that she became would have worked a lot better, because she's completely like shit on by everyone else all the time. And for her to pull through against all of this like all of this hatred and like ignoring that the other contestants have done to her to actually win, I think that could have worked. But as the season actually was, if Gelatin was eliminated and Teardrop was in the final two, Flower still would have been the better option, because they just really made Teardrop somewhat of a villain in BFB 27, and at that point it was just over. What would have been your ideal elimination order for Post-Split with the cast that we ended up getting? Alright, so basically this is the gang we got right here. And I think Balloony we keep as elimination fodder. Same kind of thing with Spongy. And then after that, this is like, I'm just, by the way, I'm not putting too much thought into this. This is like right off the like right off the dome. If I actually like sat down and like really thought about it, it would probably be much different than this. But I'm gonna say Gelatin next. I don't think really Gelatin adds that much. And I think we continue on with probably, I think Bubble. She could have wrapped up her thing with Leafy by then. And then we go to Ruby, who was just kind of there for comic relief. You could probably switch these two, I don't know. And then I'm gonna say Lollipop. Then probably Loser could maybe do something with him being arrogant and like learning his ways, or just like having to come back after being hated and try to gain everyone's trust again. I think that could take a few episodes. And then we have, this whole time we'll have like this arc going on, but at this point I think we get Blocky out of there, and then Fiery and Leafy's thing happened. Fiery's probably about gone. And this is pretty similar, final 5 here. And I think at this point, it's Taco's time to go, and then probably Leafy's. And this is like, I mean, there's so many different ways you could have changed Post-Split, but I think a better way to do it would be to have like Flower and Teardrop be like rivals throughout the season. And I think it would be like a really cool like reflection. I don't know if that's the right word, but if we have Flower progressively get better over the course of the season, meanwhile Teardrop only gets more emotionless and ruthless, potentially from how the world has treated her, I think that could be a really cool dynamic where Flower's getting better, Teardrop's getting worse, and they're just at odds at all times. But I think if we got that going on, then we get Teardrop out here, because, you know, villains, you don't want villains in the finale. And then after that, I really think it could go either way. Both these characters had potential to have really strong arcs. And see, like, I don't have a problem with Flower winning Post-Split. It's just the way that it actually happened is the problem. So honestly, it could go either way, but I think Flower winning is more of like a thematic, like, perfect ending to Post-Split. You know, first eliminated contestant ever wins the biggest season, you know, that kind of thing. What are your other hobbies outside of YouTube? I like to make YouTube videos. I don't know, that's kind of, as of recent, that's all I've really been doing. I haven't bought any Skylanders in a while. I haven't bought any Pokemon cards in a while. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals lately, and I'm always, every once in a while, like every few months, I'll get back into Minecraft. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I, like, have friends and stuff I hang out with. I have work, I have school, whatever. But, most of my free time is taken up by YouTube because I really enjoy it. Out of every object show you've reviewed, which is your favorite? Not counting BFDI, the ones I've reviewed, it would probably have to be Animatic Battle. Crayon Object Battle Universe, I really like Crayon Object Battle Universe. That'll probably take a second out of everything. But Animatic Battle is just really good. How would you have done the BFDI season ranking now ever since BFDIA post-revival has that huge increase in quality? Yeah, BFDIA revival has definitely, like, won me over. I was looking for the word there. Things have definitely gotten better since BFDIA 14. Episode 16 was really good. I liked 18, I liked 20, and like 15, and I forget what episode 17 was about, I don't know. But there are a few like that are just whatever, but there hasn't been like a truly bad episode since BFDIA 14 was really fantastic, and then it's just been all pretty solid from there. So I don't remember what my season ranking was, but I'd definitely say it's probably much higher now. What is the Worst Trends logo supposed to be? The Worst Trends logo is like, I don't really know. It's kind of just like this shape that I thought of, and if you remember the original logo, it's kind of just like two bars. I really couldn't tell you what it's supposed to be. I mean, it's kind of like, it's a cube, if that's what you're asking. Like, and I had this idea when I first made Worsty that it was gonna be like some sort of like crate where the top little red part could lift up and you could store stuff inside. And I don't really like that idea anymore. So it is just kind of like a metal cube, a block of metal. I really don't know what it's supposed to be, but I think it makes for a decent logo. If all 50 states seceded and were in a civil war where every state was for themselves, who would lose first and who would win? Okay, obviously, obvious is obvious. Texas is winning. They've got the people, they've got the guns, they've got so much stuff in Texas, obviously winning. But when you think of who would lose first, that's actually interesting. So you would think something like Wyoming, because they have the lowest population, Wyoming would lose first. But you have to remember that Wyoming has like crazy geography. They have all these mountains and like desolate landscapes, like so much crazy stuff, valleys, plateaus, fields, that it would be very difficult to invade Wyoming. Which is why I think Wyoming would be able to hold off for a little bit longer as opposed to some other states. So while Wyoming wouldn't have great offense, it would have pretty damn decent defense. And looking on the other side, you think like, okay, what about really small states? Like you got Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and those are all decent options. But all of those small states are all nestled in that little tight corner where they're all equally sized states in New England. So they would probably, well, any normal sized state could probably steamroll them. Fighting each other, who knows really how well that could go. And you would think that maybe, okay, we've got New York, Pennsylvania could just go through, wipe those out. But what would likely happen is that either New York or Pennsylvania would probably go for each other because it's more valuable land and it's more difficult to take out those bigger states. So when you start a war, that's when you have all your resources. You'd want to use, when you have all your resources, you'd want to take out the big players. You wouldn't start with the small potatoes and then move on to the stakes. Because like, let's say you're New York, you take out all of New England, use your resources, and you're able to take New England somewhat easily. But then you have Pennsylvania breathing down your neck who hasn't done anything, and they're like basically fresh start off. So it really is a pretty interesting question. Alaska would last forever, Hawaii would last forever. It would really have to be a weak state surrounded by strong ones. And I think what that would probably definitely be, I'm gonna say Delaware. I was gonna say maybe West Virginia, but they got the Appalachians, because West Virginia is a pretty, I don't want to sound rude, but it's not the greatest place to live. It's probably the worst state to live in, actually. And you've got Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Kentucky, which are all pretty decent sized, especially Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Virginia, who could probably just move in together, absolutely destroy West Virginia. West Virginia doesn't have much hope. But meanwhile, Delaware is tiny, and it's got Pennsylvania, it's got Virginia, it's got Maryland, which is pretty decently sized, plus New Jersey. And Delaware's right on the coast, so you'd have a lot of ports you'd gain access to. So I think definitely Delaware, but probably the more interesting answer would be West Virginia. Also, I kind of forgot about Massachusetts, which is pretty decently sized. Might mess up what I said about New England, but you know, you kind of get the idea. But most of the stuff to the west is going to hold pretty strong. the Midwest and the South are going to hold pretty strong. It's mainly going to be the things on the East that are going to take the heaviest hits first before it's down to like the big players after that. I used to be really into geography a few years ago, and that's why like the first video was every state ranked, because I was like really into that kind of thing. I have a few questions for you. What is your favorite video to make outside of the object show stuff? I said it before, but it's just like the stupid joke videos things where like nothing matters and I can just think of stupid jokes and apply it to whatever. So Badboyhalo, Team Jingle, that kind of thing. Do you regret making the 7-hour video about BFDI? That's a big question. I am happy that I made it because I could be wrong, but I think that the BFDI retrospective potentially may be the single largest piece of media in the OSC, like aside from like streams or like, you know, like stuff that's like kind of cheating. Like in terms of like full-on curated content, that might be the biggest video in the OSC. And I think that's really cool, and I am really proud of the video, but the process of it sucked, and it really wasn't like the biggest passion project. Like back when I first thought of the idea, if I made it right then and there, I probably would have had a much better time making it. But as time went on, like I've just started to enjoy OSC videos less. But yeah, I think overall, I'm glad I made it. How did you make / got inspiration for your mascot? Okay, Worsty. I kind of already said the thing about the logo, but really what it was is the teapot video, the original teapot video was getting really big. And I was like, okay, maybe I should make myself an avatar, right? Because I've got this stupid logo for my profile picture, and I don't really have a way to identify myself other than myself. And I like, what it was really was Ellis Mark, who, you know, he has his little avatar on screen, and I really liked that. And around that time, whenever I wrote videos, I envisioned the video as if I had a little avatar on screen, and that didn't always translate well into me sitting in the chair looking at the camera. So I wanted to have like a little bit of a character, but I can't draw humans, and I'm just really not artistically the best. So I thought like, well, the teapot video is doing good, and I remember Apoy, who Apoy's old profile picture was just the letter A, like the default thing. And then he turned that into his character, and I really liked that, so I kind of did the same thing there. Do you think one day a big creator would comment on one of your videos? That has already happened. Off the top of my head, Vandamelon, Creepsington, Mations Bomb, Apoy. I have a list. Hold on, let me find this. Oh, GD Nacho, Trollsy, Creepsington, Imperial Red, Cloudy Mations, and Pixel Craftian. So I've had some pretty big ones. Also Vandamelon, by far the biggest. 1.7 million, still crazy to me. But yes, I have had big creators comment on my videos. How would you direct a 6th season of BFDI? What would the cast, teams, art style, and voting look like? Okay, so asking where to go after Teapot is sort of the same question as where can you go after Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Because you have this big, huge thing. It is the largest game in the franchise by far. So what do you do for the next game? The only logical thing to do is to scale it back down. Because if you have every character in the game, and then the next game is just the same thing again, then it's like, well, what's the point? What's the point of making the next game if it's just the last one again? And I think the same thing applies to Teapot, where the next season can't just be 68, 70 contestants, however many, that's not even including the debuters. It'd be like, yeah, let's have the next season be 100 contestants. That just doesn't work. Not only just from a logical standpoint, but from like a meta standpoint. It's just like, you can't really top Teapot, and if you try to go any bigger, it's just isn't gonna work out. So I think the best thing to do is to do an all-star season or whatever. You have just like BFDIA, you have people vote them in, and you get like what I did with my season 6 cast, percentage from each group of characters or whatever. I mean, honestly, I think about 25 contestants would probably be the best, and honestly, you could really do whatever with that. You asked about teams. I mean, you could do more interesting things. You could maybe do like 3 teams of 8, I mean. Just shake it up a little bit from season 1 and 2, I don't know. But I think the real interesting thing is the voting. So I, for a while, have been promoting hybrid voting, and I almost made a video about this, but I think there's probably better options out there. There is the voting where you rate wow, I cannot talk, where you rate each contestant from like 1 to 10, and whatever has the lowest average score is out. And then you have one where you like rank the contestants. And I don't think any show has, to my knowledge, there's been no big shows that have used those. So as far as I know, I don't know how well they would actually work in practice, but I think maybe they could be worth a shot. Maybe not a BFDI season 6, just because it's such a big thing. I think they would definitely stick with vote to save. I don't know. I don't think vote to save is the best option, but there's definitely a lot of interesting voting methods you could come up with. But there's also like the stupid thing where it's like the character in the middle of vote counts gets eliminated. So I just think that's dumb. Like, that's so random, because what if you have a cast of like all really good characters, but then there's like 2 bad characters or bad boring characters, and you're aiming towards the middle? That's just randomly gonna fuck over one of the good characters. And I think that type of voting could work in very select situations, but most of the time it's just not gonna work out. I don't know why people think that'd be a good option. Like, that would only work in like one of those joke shows where the characters don't actually matter. Like, I'm thinking of like the 100 character object show where nothing matters. I feel like maybe it could work in something like that, because that would add in strategy. Because there's no fan favorite characters in a show like that. It's just like whatever characters you like, just based off their design, or like whatever one joke they made. And that kind of thing would put in some little strategy of like, all right, should I vote for them or should I not vote for them, because I want them to stay on the opposite sides. But whatever. That's a long tangent, but I don't think that the middleman voting style would ever work well. What content did you think you would be making in 2 years when you started your channel? The original idea of the channel was just to make videos about whatever I felt like, and that's what I'm doing now. It was, for the first 18 videos, it was random bullshit. Then the next 14, I believe, was OSC. And now, since last year, I've been kind of going back to random bullshit with a little bit of OSC in it. So really, the plan hasn't changed much. It changed a little bit, but now we're back. How do you feel about Evangelion? I've never watched Evangelion. I probably don't plan to. I've heard it's good, and you know what? I believe it. I know there's like that one girl who like people are crazy about. That's all I know about it. And like the memes, I guess. Will you ever play Deltarune in the future? No, but interesting story. Back when I was in like elementary school, I used to be like absolutely massive on Undertale. Undertale was like by far my absolute favorite thing of all time. And I loved if Undertale was realistic. Like, I have never played Undertale, but I loved Undertale. So you asked me that like 8 years ago, I'd probably say yes. I'd be jumping up and down and shit. From Yandere Gaming, ooh, okay. What are your future aspirations for this YouTube channel going forward? I want to keep making fun videos. I don't want to make videos I feel like I have to make. And I still, every once in a while, I do it. The frickin' Digital Circus re-review was just something I felt like I wanted to do, but I didn't have passion for it. The Barf Bag video, even the BFDI ranking to an extent. But I think recently, aside from the Barf Bag video, Badboyhalo, DDLC, and the videos I plan to make, the next couple of ones are like actual videos I'm very excited about. And also, I want to do more skit videos. Like, I know they don't always do too well, don't get too many views, but you know what, man, they're pretty fun. Pretty damn fun, even if they're difficult as hell to make. Like, the problem with Monsters, Myths, and Cryptids, the problem with that video wasn't that it was difficult to make. The problem was that the fucking BFDI ranking was stressing me out. So I do want to make more skit videos. How long does a typical video take to make at each step of production, writing, filming, editing, etc.? And has that changed since you first started? When I first started, like the first 5 videos, I called them the original 5 videos because I mentioned this last year in the last anniversary video. I bought the PC more or less to make videos. So, and those original 5 videos I wrote before I even had the PC. And I cranked out those first 5 videos. I distinctly remember the Mario video. I sat down for like 8 hours and edited for 8 hours straight. Got the video done in basically one sitting. And I mean, it's not the best video, but I used to be like crazy fast at making videos back in the day. And it's definitely slowed down, but that's for the better because I'm putting more care into each step. And the typical video, writing is probably the most fun. Because writing is like, basically what a lot of my videos have been is throughout my average day, I'll think of something and I write it down. And by the time I actually get around to making a video on that specific subject, I already have enough notes to basically write the script. So basically for the Badboyhalo video, I thought the music video, I saw the music video and I was like, I want to make a video on this. But it was during making the BFDI ranking. So what happened was, as I'm working on the BFDI ranking, I'm thinking of more jokes and more things to say about the Badboyhalo video. So I have a Google Doc and I'm just taking bullet points, notes. And when I finally got to making the video, I organized it all and then basically just take all those jokes, put them in order, and then just have like transitions between them to make the script actually flow. And that was pretty much how I do my videos now. I just like I don't want to get into spoilers here, but there's a video that's probably going to release like a couple months from now, and I am already starting to get like a hefty amount of notes into it. I mean, in the middle era, like the OSC, I would sit down and I would just start writing. And those videos were kind of a slog to write because I would just sit down from nothing and just start typing. And that was never really that fun because I'd have to go back, change stuff, rephrase entire paragraphs. It wasn't a good way to do it. And I think the way I do it now is a lot better. And yeah, so that's writing. In terms of filming, sorry, the question was how long does it take? When I actually get to writing, it only takes a couple of hours. Like I'll usually split it up between a few days just so I don't get like sick of it. But combined longer videos, they don't take that long to write because they already have so much of the content in front of me. Filming doesn't take super long. If I'm making a 30-minute video, it's about 3 hours of recording. The real thing is the editing. Depending on the video, I can get like either 5 minutes worth of video done a day or like 2 minutes done a day. So we're like something like the Badboyhalo video is a lot more like intricate in its editing with the title cards and like more jokes that are part of the editing, like stuff on screen, that sort of thing. It takes more time to edit that. But like the BFDI ranking was super easy because all I'm doing is like I've got my audio here in the video editor, my audio is here, and I've got whatever episode I'm talking to over here, and all I do is just find the clip, drag it over, find the next clip, drag it over. So that kind of thing is easy. But when it gets to more of like the DDLC video to an extent, but mostly like the Team Jingles video, that would take me a few hours to get like a minute or two done because that was a lot of editing jokes. Whereas like other videos that are more just the jokes are in the writing, those are a lot easier to edit. But a good rule of thumb is on average, I'll probably do 3 minutes worth of editing a day. Like 3 minutes of the video edited. Wow, I'm starting to lose my voice, dude. I'm talking too much. Here we go. Why did you name yourself Worst Trends? Dude, I was so disappointed when no one asked this last year. So the journey of the name Worst Trends starts back 6 years ago. It was in 6th grade and I was like joking around with my friend and we were talking about the YouTuber Best Trends. And I don't know if I'm wrong about this, if we just like got confused with another YouTuber, but we were absolutely cracking up about like videos that were like, hey everybody, welcome back to Best Trends, and today we're going to be looking at 5 YouTubers who have sworn. Like that kind of video. We were in school, we were just joking about that, and we made like a parody version called Worst Trends, and it'd be shit like, hey everybody, welcome back to Worst Trends. Today we're gonna look at 5 times Ninja killed people after raging in Fortnite. And it's like, it's stupid jokes, but it really cracked us up that time. And at that day, like I've always wanted to be a YouTuber since I was like 10, watching popular MMOs. So I'm like, you know what? I really like this Worst Trends idea of making like those parody top 10 videos. And that's kind of where it started from. And I think the original idea was going to be videos like that, but also more like skits. Like I remember the first video I ever wrote, it was like some Fortnite YouTuber parody. where it's like, I think I could probably recite the whole skit right now, where it's like, hey everybody, what is going on? Fortnite player 935 here, and today we are celebrating my millionth Fortnite video of all time. Now, because if this is the millionth Fortnite video on the channel, I'm going to spend $1 million. And that was probably verbatim what the beginning of the skit was. I forget what happens next. I don't know. It was 6 years ago. But I distinctly remember the name Fortnite player 935. I don't know why. But that was where it started from. And as I was getting closer to actually making the channel, the name Worst Trends was still on my mind, but I knew that it wasn't a very good name. Like, the problem with Worst Trends is that it's not distinct. If you go on YouTube, like a completely new account, you type in Worst Trends, my channel's not gonna be the first thing up. It's gonna be like top 10 worst TikTok trends or whatever. And like, I think at this point, a lot of my viewers like barely even recognize that the name is Worst Trends, which is a parody of Best Trends, and it's just kind of like they've seen it so many times they don't even notice it anymore. And I'm kind of the same way too sometimes. Because like my channel has nothing to do with trends. It doesn't. So I was trying to think of a better name before I made the channel, but I just couldn't think of anything I liked. So I'm like, fuck it, let's keep it. And I've actually since, like recently, I've been considering rebranding to a different name. And it's something I've thought a lot about. I don't know how you guys would feel about it, but it's a pretty big change. And I think the new name would be pretty decent. But I don't know if the old name's too iconic. It's not a great name. I like it. I think Worst Trends is fine, but it's not a good name objectively. And I also had this idea where, like, I'll talk about this more. The Object Show would release on a second channel, and there's also the idea that I release the Object Show on a different channel, and that channel has the new name, and I just keep this as Worst Trends. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I was wondering if you were gonna make another commentary. Now I got my answer. Yes, you did. Opinions on Dora BFDI. I think Dora's a pretty good character. Pretty good character. I don't know, man. What do you want me to say? I've talked about her before. I'm not gonna retread. My question is that Natsuki is the best DDLC character. That was not written in the form of a question, but I disagree. She's the worst DDLC character. Will you ever make that Skylanders lore video with Spyro, Prison Break, Terrafin in them? I'm honestly very intrigued on hearing about that. Also, which are my top 5 BFDI characters? I'll get that in a second. The Skylanders lore video. When did I mention that? Like, I know what he's talking about, but when did I mention that? If I mentioned that in the old-ass Skylanders Collection Showcase video, then this guy's a legend for not only watching that, but remembering that. That's insane. I would say, potentially. There is a video I've been thinking about making for a while now. When I first found out about BFDI, I made, like, my own little object show with, like, these little paper cutouts, and that had some crazy lore. So I was thinking about making a video where it's like explaining the crazy lore of my old object show. And if I ever do that and that does well, then yeah, maybe I'll do the Skylanders lore video, because I had my Skylanders I played with. Crazy lore branched off from that. A lot of stuff. Okay, I'm really starting to lose my voice here. Are you planning on making more digital circus videos? I've thought it over since I recorded the other portion of this video, and I do think that I'll just wait till it's all done and probably do an ultimate retrospective. Because at this point, we're on episode 5. If I randomly released a video reviewing episode 3, that's just kind of weird. At this point, I think I'm just going to wait till it's all done. Do you plan to do more Mario videos like the timeline one? Probably not. I do like Mario, but it's just not really where I'm at right now. It's not really one of my big interests. Are you still not going to make an Unanimous Insanity video? Correct. What was your favorite part? What was the most difficult part of making the retrospective video? If I were to narrow it down into specific parts, like a specific second of my life that was the most difficult, a really difficult part was writing the segment for BFB30. Because actually, I wrote the segment and I didn't like it, so I scrapped it and started over again. And the original segment, I think, was just like I don't really remember too much. It was very complainy without really giving many reasons as to why. It was more like, this is stupid. Flower does this. That's stupid. And I realized it is kind of still like that in the full video. But then there's like the ending where I like kind of wrap it up and like really explain everything. But I really scrapped it, and BFB30, I had to force myself to write that segment. It was a difficult one to like, it's the culmination of the entire season and everything bad about it. So I really had to like encompass my thoughts on everything in that one segment, and that was pretty difficult to do. But another difficult part was the intro. Writing and editing the intro was kind of hard because I knew it had to be really good to start out such a big video. But in terms of like my favorite part, I think the most fun I had making the whole video was at the end of the episode reviews, when I just had the list of episodes and I just got to read them off from worst to best. That was strangely really fun to do, because it was like, I don't know, it was like looking back at everything and I was just listing things off from worst to best. That was not really what you'd think of, but that was really fun. Opinion on Excellent Entities, I've never actually watched it. I mean, look, I know I talk about Webs for Revs, but I'm more a fan of the man, less the channel. Will you ever make a video on plush tubers like Luigi Fan, SML, etc.? So I say that I'm a really big fan of plush YouTubers, but it was really just Luigi Fan. I watched a tiny bit of SML, like with my friends back in the day, not much. I was really big into Luigi Fan, but only the PVZ videos and Total Stuff Fluffed Island, which was their Total Drama equivalent. It was really crazy, because there'd be like, I remember I watched season 3 of Total Stuff Fluff Island by Luigi Fan, and it was like 100 plushes in one big game, and it was so fucking hard to keep track of. It was so hard. Not only were there so many characters, there were so many teams, and there were rejoins like every couple of episodes, which sure as shit didn't help. It was very hard to keep track of, but I love that. And the only other plush tubers I've ever watched is Chazington, one of my favorite YouTubers, has recently been doing his own plush series, and I really love those videos. I think they're very funny. And I think there's a pretty high possibility that at some point I make not really a video on plush tubers, but potentially a video on Chazington, where I talk about his plush videos as a segment. And I maybe would mention Luigi Fan as well. I don't know, that's not really a set in stone video idea. I don't know how much content I could get about talking about him, but it's definitely an idea that I have. Who inspired you to make a channel? So that question, the answer to that depends on when you ask me. Because a long time ago back in the day, I would have said popular MMOs, DanTDM, Stampy, and Venturian Tale. Those are my big 4 that I watched, and I wanted to be a gaming channel like them. But then after that, there was like my era of commentary videos, and that was like Shay Fearless, Scott the Waz. And then after the also Jarvis Johnson. After the commentaries, it was Alpha Oxtrot. And then I went back to wanting to be a gaming channel again and playing Minecraft and scary games. And that was big for a few years. And then after that, it was more back to commentary, Scott the Waz, LS Mark, and most recently, Chazington. Have you played the new FNAF game? If so, is it good? And if not, would you want to play it? So I've mentioned it before, but I'm completely done with FNAF. I'm not messing with it anymore. The movie ruined it for me. I assume you're talking about Secret of the Mimic. I don't know anything about it. I know 3FS made a video about it. I'm probably gonna watch that at some point whenever I'm in the mood. But other than that, dude, I'm done with FNAF. Will there ever be a new video in the infamous and lovable Water series? The true fans have been begging for a new installment in the series. And this is an ability, and I remember him asking like the same thing last year. And here's the thing. I would love to make the Water series a trilogy. I want to make a 3rd video in the series, but like I don't know where to go. So you have the first Water video was statistically determining every host setting or whatever it was called. And that's just talking about the best kind of hose water or hose settings. And then like any good sequel, I expand upon the idea where it's not just hose water, it's all the waters, but I'm not sure what the next step is. Cause I think really the only way to go from there would be like a skit video. I just got a crazy idea. So, you know how there's like really like expensive waters? Like, so there's like crazy like expensive and rare water. This is just like right off the top of my head. Absolutely no promises. This is just an idea I'm gonna throw out there. Like a skit video where like I travel to find like the best water ever or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I'll go to the Himalayas to get water from the peak of Mount Everest. I don't know. Because I feel like a skit video is like the only way to go. Okay, because like first video is completely scripted. Second video is a little bit more free, I guess you could say, where it's like, it kind of bridges the gap in between scripted and a skit, where it's not exactly a skit, but there's no script either. And then I think that would work well for the third video to then be a full-on skit video. But I don't know. I think like I could definitely figure something out. That'd be a pretty big video. I will probably make the third water video at some point, but there's still like another skit video I want to make before that, and that is episode 50, which I said before would be the big lore video. And you know, I'm saying that episode 50 will be the lore video, but I really don't want to make any promises. If I get to episode 50 and I'm just not feeling it, maybe I'll push it off. As of right now, I've been like, lately, the past few weeks, I've been really excited thinking about making skit videos, but like, my feelings on stuff changes all the time, so who knows. What are your thoughts on Teapot 18? Did it fix the post-split gang for you? It's a very controversial, I can never say that word. Every video where I say the word controversial, I always say controversial, or whatever controversial. I say controversial. I never notice it while recording, but I always see it during editing, and it makes me mad. Controversial. It is a very controversial episode, and I think it's fine. It did definitely improve a lot of the characters, like Taco, Lollipop, a little bit of Blocky. It made some characters better. I wouldn't say full-on fixed, but they're better than they were in BFB 30. My thoughts on the episode is it's fine. It's been I've seen a lot of negative stuff about it, and I really think what it is that Teapot 18 isn't a bad episode, but it was disappointing. I think in a vacuum, on its own, it's okay. B tier. Decent episode. But the fact that it was kind of hyped up as this, like, at least maybe the community hyped it up on themselves. They kind of psyched themselves up about this being, like, crazy comeback for all these characters that we haven't seen in, like, 6 years? Been 6 years since we've seen these guys. We're finally going to get to see them. Just for it to be, like, a regular episode with a challenge. And I think if this legitimately was BFB 31 and it released like a month after BFB 30, it would have been fine. But with so much stuff there is to do with the post-split gang, with Match being there now, and just how long it's been since we've seen them, I think the episode was just very disappointing, and I think that's why so many people have such a negative view of it. Which video from this year, 2025, did you have the most fun making, and why? My personal favorite was probably the Muffins song review. I would have to agree. I mean, it's just all jokes. The whole video is just jokes, and it's a very fun kind of video to make. I mean, how many videos have I made this year? I've only made 5 videos this year, and it would definitely be the Muffin video is my favorite. Why did you not review the BFDI mini seasons in the retrospective? I feel like reviewing each season as an episode/short would be pretty cool. So I did, like, for a little bit, I considered reviewing BFDI mini. But there were a few reasons why I decided not to. One of the reasons was that for a long time, I assumed that it was non-canon, and it's still kind of up in the air how much of BFDI mini is canon after Teapot 15. I really think that making it canon wasn't the best idea. I think it's just kind of a weird thing to actually be in the universe. But I didn't talk about it because 1, I didn't think it was important. 2, I didn't think it mattered in the actual grand scheme of BFDI, unlike, you know, the shorts that are actually like also non-canon but include the characters we know and love. But the biggest reason is that there's nothing to say about BFDI mini. Like, I've watched all of it and I've enjoyed it, but what can I say? None of the characters talk. Each episode is less than a minute long. What would I say? You know how it would go? it would be like every 30 minutes throughout the video, you'd have to stop and I'd talk about, all right, here is BFDI Mini. Oh, seriously. Johnson's pretty cool. And I think that like BFDI Mini is good, but it's just not worth talking about. It would have been filler in a video that's already 7.5 hours long. I don't know. The most I have to say is that Popsicle was rigged against Popsicle and BFDI Mini Delicious. Which placements would the episodes released after BFDI 14 be in your episode ranking from your ultimate BFDI retrospective? Okay, the placements. Oh man, I'm starting to get tired of talking so long. I made a comment on someone else's post or someone else's comment in one of the posts. So I'm gonna go read off that. All right, I can't find it, but let me go on Jack and Jellyfie's channel. I'm starting to get tired, guys. I've been talking for like an hour straight already. Jack and Jellyfie. Let's see. Okay. I'm just gonna go kind of basic here. Starting at Teapot 13, A tier. BFDIA 15, low C, high D tier. Teapot 14, solid B tier. BFDIA 16, low A tier. BFDIA 17, probably mid C tier. Teapot 15, low B tier. Teapot 16, mid S tier. And I mean that. I love Teapot 16. BFDIA 18, I'm gonna say mid B tier. Teapot 17, I'll say high B tier. BFDIA 19 and 20 are both probably mid to low B tier. Maybe even high C tier. And then Teapot 18, mid to low C tier. How well would you do if you were in a BFDI season? Okay, so if I were dropped right now into a season, okay, well here's the thing with BFDI. It doesn't really matter what you do in the challenges. All that really matters is what the viewers think of you. Like, you could be up for elimination every episode, but if the viewers like you, if you have a strong fan base, you'll survive every time. And that's really the main thing with BFDI. I don't know. Here's like a kind of a stupid idea I had. We get a bunch of OSC YouTubers and we bring them together like in real life and do like a Mr. Beast challenge where we do a BFDI season. I think that would be funny. It would never happen, but that would be pretty funny. And it would like really test everyone's knowledge of stuff. And you'd have viewers vote, but like, well, no, I don't know. That wouldn't really work to have viewers vote in that because they'd just vote for their favorite YouTuber, and that'd be very lopsided because of how some YouTubers are bigger than others. You know what I mean? I think I could probably do decent in challenges. It may not look like it, but I am decently athletic. I'm on varsity cross country team. I don't know, man. I feel like I could last maybe to the merge. That might be pushing it, but I think I could maybe get to the merge. I don't know. If it was like I'm an object in object land, it's a whole different ballpark because like, you know, all the characters are like equal strength pretty much for the most part. I don't know, man. I don't know. How much of a gamer are you? I don't play games too often. I play a few games on here. I play Marvel Rivals. I play Minecraft. And I also have a Nintendo Switch, but I don't use that super often. But I do like playing games, but it's definitely not an everyday kind of thing. It's more of like a couple times a month. Well, maybe I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals. I've been kind of going crazy on Rivals lately. So now it's probably more like once or twice a week. But other than that, it's not super often. And also, what's the best place to send fan art? I'm going to say what people have been doing is making a community post and mentioning me. But if you don't have a community post, then you can email me. If you go to my channel and go to more info, there's the email there. And just like have the subject be fan art. And I check that every couple of days. So if you guys have fan art, I would like to see that. I've gotten some. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah. Have you ever seen other object shows such as Paper Puppets, The Daily Object Show, It's Time for The, and what do you think of them? Out of those three, I've only seen It's Time for The, and I think It's Time for The is a very interesting show. It could probably, I don't know if I'd ever want to do like a full review. I don't know if I ever want to go back to making like videos on like single object shows. But It's Time for The was really, really captivating for a while. But as of recent, it's kind of been losing me because it's jumping so hard into its lore that it's kind of losing what made it so great in the first place. And that was the mystery and the characters. And now we're suddenly plunged into this like alternate universe, and you kind of lose the characters, and now instead of being mysterious, it's just kind of confusing. Are you into RPGs? Okay. I don't like RPGs. I haven't played that many. But I got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I had that game and it's really, really boring. I did not like that at all. I haven't played many RPGs like I said, but I have played Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. And it's a Pokemon game, but it's not really much of an RPG. Like, I love running around. The catching Pokemon mechanics is really good. And there's still battling. And the battling is by far my least favorite part, because you just sit there, you pick which attack to do, and 9 times out of 10 you're just picking the same one every time. I don't love RPGs. From what I've played the few Pokemon games, I know I'm missing out on a lot. I'm not a big fan. I'm not an RPG guy. It's Scott the Waz Christmas. Have you played much of Undertale / Deltarune? It feels like something you'd like. I kind of was just saying this. I don't know, dude. It's like... You guys know cringe culture? It's like when something is deemed as cringy on the internet, it makes you like steer away from it. That's never really affected me before, but it like a little bit with Undertale. Like, I don't know, man. I don't wanna be like that. But like the Undertale community kind of weird, man. I'm obviously joking. But I've had to deal with my fair share of strange communities. Five Nights at Freddy's, Coffin of Andy and Lele. I don't know if you'll count that. I made one video. I haven't thought about it in a long time. I don't know. I feel like I've experienced so much of what Undertale has already, and Deltarune just doesn't seem that interesting to me. Like, it's some alternate universe. I remember when Chapter 1 came out, that was like, it was still pretty intriguing to me, but in that gap between Chapter 1 and 2, I just lost interest. I don't know. I haven't seen anything of Deltarune since like 2019. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another look someday. Can you give me money? This is a joke, by the way. Oh, thank God. Who do you think will win Teapot? Okay, you asked me this a couple episodes ago. I would have said Golf Ball or Fanny, but what I think now, I'm thinking it might be Donut. I think Donut should win Teapot. I think Donut would be thematically really well made. And I just watched a video on, I forget the name, it's probably up on screen now, this crazy character analysis of Donut that I think was really, really good. And it got me thinking like of the Teapot finale. Potentially the reason one wanted to deal with Donut was to kill 2. Because if, let's say 1 has Donut and she combines him with 2 to multiply 2 by 0, 2's power is now within Donut. And that makes it able for 1 to steal 2's power now that it's inside of Donut. And I think I'm thinking that's probably what her plan was, why she wanted Donut. But what I think would be a really cool finale is Donut wins the season, and then since he wins, he gets the right to take down 1. Like, thematically, he would get the right to take down 1. And I think the way to do that would be like the whole gang's like beating up 1 and stuff, and she's like on the ground coughing up blood and shit. And then Donut's like, I may not be the greatest at math, but I do know one thing. Anything times 0 equals 0. And then he hits 1, absorbs her, and she fucking dies. And I think that'd be a really cool finale. Maybe not the one-liner, but Donut killing 1 that way. I think that would be pretty cool. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea, and it would make sense. Because we've never seen an algebraian get killed or apprehended before, except when 4 was multiplied by 0. I don't know. I think that would be a very realistic way to take down 1. Question, do you know an artist, except for yourself, who is severely underrated? An artist? Ooh, am I an artist? I don't know. Okay, let me ponder. You know what? I'm gonna go with that guy who made the donut thing, the donut video. I don't know if... I assume you mean like artist like drawing, but I'm gonna take that as YouTube artist. I'm gonna say that guy. What question would you ask if you went to the IIX BFDI tour? Is 10 Golf canon? Has there been any significant changes to your character ranking from the retrospective? Let me take a look at that tier list real quick. I would definitely move TV up to... I'd probably move him up to C tier. I think I'd probably move Bottle down a few placements. Lollipop up. I think Donut would definitely go up a few. I think Donut's probably third now. Donut's probably my third favorite, maybe even more. I don't know. Other than that, though, I don't think anything super significant. I think this holds up pretty well. Not too much has changed. What is your favorite host from any object show? This might be a sleeper pick, but I like the host from KFC. I don't remember the name, but they're a good host. What aspect of any given show writing do you like the most? I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I've been thinking. It's like I'd really have to go back and look at so many shows. Best I can give you right now is No Way from It's Time for Love. I like how he actually questions the stuff that's going on. That's not a good answer. There's definitely better stuff out there. I just can't think of anything right now. Who would win in a fight? Bubble the Amazing Digital Circus or Bubble BFDI? For sure, Digital Circus. I mean, they can both be popped within a second, but the difference is that Digital Circus Bubble is absolutely a menace and would immediately just chomp down on BFDI Bubble. Whereas BFDI Bubble would see this bubble with these giant black eyes and like razor sharp teeth and would probably get afraid and wouldn't try to attack it right away. Hi worst trend, as for my question, if you could change one moment in your channel history, what would it be and why? Alright, and I know the answer you're looking for is the making the teapot video, but that's actually not it. I'm gonna say, well, honestly, I think every video in some way has been valuable because it's brought me to where I am now, and I really like where I am now. So even like the videos that are really bad, the voting methods video, the AIB video, they served a purpose to show me what I shouldn't be doing, and that's important. But if I absolutely had to pick one thing, it would have to be announcing the BFDI ranking at the end of the teardrop video. I should have kept that silent and just worked on it in the background. But then again, the added pressure of everyone knowing about it is what drove me to finally get it done. Which I know I said is a bad thing, but like the video would not be out without that. Really let me ponder here. I don't know, I really can't come up with an answer because I think looking back, every video has either been completely fine or been pretty detrimentally important to bring me to where I am today. And I wouldn't change where I am today. Will we ever get a Battle for Colgate analysis? No. What's your opinion on Teapot 15? Overrated. If you had to permanently kill off a character from each of your top 3 favorite forms of media, shows, games, book, etc., who would you pick? Let's ponder. So I'm just gonna, to make it simpler, so I'm not sitting here thinking forever, I'm gonna pick one thing from a show, one thing from a game, and then one thing from a book. My favorite show of all time is Regular Show, probably. I don't know, Young Sheldon's pretty good. I've been watching Young Sheldon lately. I would probably kill Margaret from Regular Show, because the worst part about Regular Show was the stupid relationship stuff with Mordecai. That sucked. In the later seasons, that sucked. My favorite game is Minecraft, and that doesn't really work. I'm gonna permanently kill off one of the new skins that they added lately, like the ones that they're trying to make main characters like Steve and Alex. Actually, kill off all of them. We just need Steve and Alex. And my favorite book? What is my favorite book? Hold on. I don't know. I don't actually read that much, so I'm gonna change that to BFDI, and we're gonna permanently kill off Bottle. Thoughts on Inanimate Insanity? That's cute. I'm not gonna answer that. Holy shit! Oh my god! Guys, put this on screen. Look how much this guy wrote. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to come back to this one. See, I wrote paragraphs upon paragraphs. I'm alright. After I finish recording here, I guess I'm gonna read all this, and then I'll do it later. All right. So I went and I'm reading this. I read this whole thing, and basically what it boils down to is that with this person here, what the fuck? How do you pronounce that? This person here is trying to basically ask if object shows like BFDI are fundamentally flawed because of the viewer voting process. And I would agree with that, because they explain it in here. It's like you can't properly set up, you can't have a beginning, middle, and end of any given character arc, because there's the possibility that integral characters can just get eliminated out of nowhere and there's just nothing you can do about that as the show creator. And that is definitely a huge problem, which is why I think so many shows like Inanimate Insanity have started to go more into viewer voting, which I think that contestant voting. Newer shows have been going to contestant voting. And the thing with that is that viewer voting is such a huge part of object shows. That's what builds such a strong community. And it's strong in a way that people care a lot, and that can be a bad thing, but it also can be a good thing. So because that we're allowed to vote on these shows is what makes the community so interconnected like how it is now. But from like a complete, like in a vacuum storytelling perspective, viewer voting is terrible because like it is the like there's so many examples like Coiny and Teapot. He had this thing about being nostalgic for BFDIA, but that got cut short. They had Puffball and Golfball becoming friends, that got cut short. They had this is a lesser spoken about one, but there was Naily in Teapot 1 was kind of set up to be this like sort of leader of the team, but then just kind of got out, which I know some of that fault is through the writing, but I mean there's some eliminations that you just can't predict. Like I don't know, I'm tired as hell right now, so I may not be like perfectly like comprehensible at the moment. But yes, the main thing is this person is saying is that object shows fundamentally don't work because of viewer voting. And another thing in here is this first line. The show opens without explaining who the characters are, where they came from. The characters in BFDI have no age, no past, no future, no motivation, no families. And that's another big thing. And that's just this byproduct of BFDI being made by 12-year-olds. So those 12-year-olds, they just like, all right, yeah, we got this cast of characters in this open field. We're going to start the game. And that's just like how the show started. But like that set the precedent for every other object show to just take place with barely introducing the characters in an open field with no explanation of how the world works or how society in the world works. Anything like that, and it's just become the standard. And at this point, we're all so used to this kind of thing that we barely even notice it anymore. But compared to like other works of art, other works of storytelling, this is a very, very flawed way to set up a show. And there's some other things in here. This is very long. I'm not going to go through everything they say, especially since like halfway through it just becomes a review of Teapot 18. But yeah, this is got a lot of good points in here, some stuff that I really haven't thought about, just because like again, like I was so used to every show opening up with barely character introductions that I'm losing myself here, dude. I'm so tired right now. Yes, this is an interesting read. If you want to go check it out, it's under the post here. You can come see this, you can come read it. Yeah, I can definitely, it's a very thought-provoking comment here, and if you're interested, definitely give this one a read. I'm not going to go through all of it, but yes, it is definitely an issue. Thank you for this, by the way. It's very kind.
If you could change the elimination placement of one character in Teapot, who would you choose and when? Okay, like making TV eliminated in Teapot 6. Okay, alright. I'm gonna say if I'm restricted to Teapot. Okay, I don't know if this really counts, but for the Exeter rejoin, we switch out Live for Bracelety. But in terms for actual eliminations, I think what you said, swapping out TV for Fries in Teapot 6 would be good. But also potentially keeping Teardrop a little bit longer so the Eraser arc could actually wrap up nicely. I think that we keep Cloudy, we get Rocky out earlier. We can keep Cloudy potentially. That one's not super necessary, but it would be nice. And I'm gonna say Grassy instead of Eggy, because that would have actually made Teardrop's existence warranted if Eggy was still in. I don't really care for Eggy, but like it seemed like there was so much cool stuff they set up in Teapot 2, just for none of it to pay off was super lame. And I think maybe if they actually went through with it, Eggy could have been better than E tier or whatever I put her. Yeah, that'd probably have to be what I have to say about that. If you met Carrie and Michael, what would you say to them? Thanks. How many games do you have on your Steam library? Not that many. I have like maybe 5, and then plus like all the random scary games from the 2 videos. What was your favorite video you've made? Team Jingles. And what was your least favorite video you've made? That's AIB. Oh, look at that. Look in the replies. This guy actually predicted it. Wow, that's impressive. How do you balance out your free time between producing videos and doing IRL stuff, studying jobs, etc.? Okay, here's like what I do. So basically I just take whatever I need to do. So work or school, sports, and those are the number one things that you have to do. And what I do then is in a given day, let's say I get home from school, I have homework, I have to, I don't know, do whatever. Make sure to do the important stuff first, and then when I have my free time, that's when I work on videos. In terms of like still having free time beyond making videos, I don't really do that. I mean, like the thing is, like if I'm having fun making a video, then I'll just use up my free time that way. But the big thing is just get the necessary real life stuff, get that done first. I don't know, I'm sorry if that's not the answer you're looking for, if that's not that useful to you. You say here, I'm sorry if these questions are a bit personal, but there's things I struggle with as a creator, and I'm curious how others deal with them. It's like, I'm trying to come up with like a better answer that can maybe help you. Because while making videos is very fun, it's not the most important thing. So just make sure that you're specifically using free time and not time that should be used for other stuff. And that's kind of hard sometimes because like real life kind of sucks. Making videos is actually fun, But do you ever feel embarrassed about close people seeing your videos, like friends or family? Yes. I don't know about you, but none of my friends actually know about my channel. Like, I'm very secretive of it. The only people that actually know are my family, and that's because they live in the same house as me. If I'd never told them for like a month, and then one day I was just like, they walked in while I was editing, and I could have switched tabs, and I was like, gonna have to know eventually. And in terms of friends, I haven't, like, when I first started making videos, I told 4 friends, but I haven't mentioned it in probably about 2 years. Yeah, I've mentioned it to them like each one time, maybe twice probably. I've never brought it up again. So odds are is that they've forgotten or just assumed I stopped doing it. And it's not that I think they'll make fun of me, but it's weird because like this is like a different side of me, you know? I don't know how cringe it is to say that. Like this is the alpha wolf side, But so you know how like other YouTubers will have like their friends in videos and they seem very like somewhat similar to them. They have like the same style of humor. My friends aren't like that. Like I've basically got like a Will Ferrell double life here. Like I don't want to say like I'm acting fake around my friends because I'm not, but it's like I just don't think that they'll really get it, you know? Like if I tell them about this, they're not gonna mess with it. They're just gonna be like, oh, you make videos about Barf Bag? Like they're gonna read these titles. The Greek Tragedy of Barf Bag, The Insane World of DDLC Fan Stories. What is this shit? Because they don't know what any of this stuff is. Like whereas I was like raised on YouTube, they weren't. So this is like this would be very foreign to them. And I just don't really have any friends that like I could have in videos. So I don't bother really telling anyone because it's not going to change anything. And yeah, a portion of that is because this stuff's kind of weird. And I'm talking about some animated little, I don't want to say kids show, but like a show that's a cartoon made by kids. No one that I know has ever actually seen my videos, and if they have, they've never mentioned it. But yeah, I'm not exactly talking to my friends about BFDI every new episode. So, but if I did have friends that were more like online a lot of the time, I would tell them. How about you? Like 6 out of 10, I've been finer. What is the most important thing in an object show, like characters, animation, story, or other stuff? And what is for you the best object show that exists besides BFDI if that's your favorite show? Okay. The most important thing out of characters, animation, story. Okay, I want to say characters is the most important. If you have a show that's animated on Google Slides, but you have really good characters, it's not necessarily a good show. Like writing is very, very important, and animation isn't super important, but animation definitely helps a lot. You could write an amazing story with amazing characters, but if your animation is really bad and you can't even tell what's going on, none of that's gonna matter. And if you're trying to do something with a lot more action, where characters are like running around fighting, there's explosions and stuff, you need good animation to actually be able to incorporate that stuff. They're all characters, animation, story, they're all important, but it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do a more chill, laid back season like season 1 of BFDI, then I would say characters are more important. If you're trying to do a more mysterious, lore-heavy show, story's more important. But if you're trying to do a lot of action, animation's the most important. It really depends a lot. They're all important a little bit. You need to have, like, you can't just put all of your skill points into one tree. You have to level it out a little bit. And while my favorite kinds of shows are the ones with writing, with really good writing, it wouldn't matter if it looked like it was drawn on, like, little Timmy's iPad. What are some things about BFDI that you think other people misunderstand? I said it before, and I really think what the most people misunderstand is just what pre-split is. Like, I said it in the Barf Bag video, and it's like, some people say that it's the best season of the show, some people say that it's worse than Teapot, and it really comes down to just pre-split's very different from Teapot. It's very different fundamentally, and a lot of people don't get that. They just think it's less advanced Teapot, when it really isn't. It was really its own kind of thing. And people just saying that Teapot's better because it has better animation and a stronger story, it doesn't matter because pre-split was... Teapot isn't just an evolution of pre-split. Teapot's kind of doing its own thing separate from pre-split, and that's really the main thing that I feel like a lot of people don't get about pre-split. How would you make a new Smash Bros game? So kind of funny, I was kind of just mentioning that earlier, but not actually gonna say because I have a video idea about that. Don't know if I'll ever make it, but it's in the list. Okay, so this is just talking about Teapot 18 again, and I just saw something else. I'm gonna say this. If it counts as an episode of post-split, then it's the best episode of BFB since episode 15. I will say that. What's your opinion on the Cloudy Mations drama? I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care. What's your opinion on It's Nice to Know, the Kick It Steak song from BFDIA 19? Okay, so it's very dramatic, and it's got the open source objects dome for some reason. That's kind of random. I think it like is trying to do this like super dramatic, like I don't know, kind of thing. And I think it's good, but it could be better. I think it needs to be longer. It needs to be like a minute long. And they just need to break out the violin, just go absolutely insane, and just like really get like super emotional. I think that would have been like a really, really good thing. It'd been like a really good joke because it's just some random ass episode with this beautiful intro. I think that would have been really cool. So like, I think it's like does really good, but then it just ends like right when it's getting crazy. Definitely has some potential if someone wanted to make like an extended version. It's like insane. I don't know. Are you gonna release your video on your thoughts on Teapot 15? Okay. I tried 2 separate times to write a video on Teapot 15 about the lore implications that it has, but it's so confusing. Both times I gave up because the mechanisms of this episode are so advanced and complicated that I was literally confusing myself, and I think it's actually impossible to explain what I want to in a digestible video format. It's so difficult. Let me pull this up right now, actually. So I tried very hard. The first time I tried it was an analysis of the entire episode, but there was so much, like these absolute giant laundry list of bullet points I have to talk about. And so the second time I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to tackle one of these things, one of these plot points. But even that was so much. Like, it was getting confusing where I was coming up with like names to differentiate the original episode with the new ones. So it was like, okay. So I spent like a paragraph explaining like, all right, so the original episodes that we watched when they were released, I'm gonna call prime episodes, whereas the affected versions where the timeline is messed up by the contestants, I'll call the Delta versions. Like, I'm over here like trying to unravel this huge mess that this episode creates, when clearly like there was no intention for this by the writers. Like, there's so many issues that this timeline stuff creates, like it doesn't make any sense, and it was clearly just made to be cool time travel stuff. Dude, I don't know. I've given up. It's such a mess, but like it doesn't even matter because none of it is even important anyway. Favorite BFDI writers: Sam Thornberry after he locked it in Teapot 7, but also Florence Chappell, who wrote all of the number milestone shorts. Oh, this guy's been here since the FNAF animatronic ranking. What an OG. Okay, so there's this like really nice message here. I'm gonna ignore it though. Since we brought the horror games during Christmas series back, will you bring the Obsession with Water series back? Kind of said it earlier, hopefully. How long does it take to make a video essay on any subject? Also kind of answered that one. Sorry, man. What's your favorite joke from your own videos? Okay, I said this earlier about the one joke in the Apoy video, but hold on. There's one. I have to find it real quick. Okay, so another reason why I think that the DDLC section of the Team Jingles video is my peak is for a few reasons. So there's all right. I don't know if like I'm ever gonna get in trouble for this one. But the part where I called Quirksy's queer sex.
This isn't just a one-off thing. This is a whole series made by someone named Queer Sex. I hope I pronounced that right.
I think the delivery is really good on that. I think that one's really funny because it's got like got the happy music in the background. Then there's also I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite nowadays, but I remember like absolutely losing it to this one here.
Hi, mommy.
What the f wrote this?
Oh my fucking god.
That one, when I first wrote it, I remember being like absolutely loving that joke. I made so many jokes over the years. There's probably something really funny in the BFDI ranking, but again, I don't remember anything. What's the best indie pilot you've watched? I haven't seen that many. Definitely Digital Circus, but I haven't seen that many. Gaslight District kind of blew. Murder Drones was okay. The pilot was fine. Other than that though, I watched like one, I think it was like Ramshackle. That one was okay. I don't know. I haven't seen that many. Oh, Lackadaisy. Hot take. C tier. What is the worst thing you've ever watched? I'm gonna say either BFB 30 or no, it might be BFB 30. Okay, are you gonna say anything about your opinion on the recent BFDIA episode? I already did that. I already did that. What do you think about gay people? What? What the fuck? I know this may seem weird to ask, but it's because of what you said about the gay scene in Tuber. I don't know. They're fine? Dude, I don't know what you want me to say here. Like, I don't understand the goal of the goal of this question. You want me to do a Cloudymations and just tell everyone I'm homophobic? Or like, flip side of that, I just come out right now? It starts out so normal. What do you think about BFDIA? Also, wait, why did he ask this? Are you planning to make a video about your Minecraft world like you said you would? Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it because I've just been busy with the other stuff and I've been wanting to use my recording time more wisely, but I'll probably do that by the end of the summer. Have you ever watched Siefmod? I don't recognize that acronym. Let me look. I have not seen it. I've not. I'm sorry. How do you deal with negative comments towards your opinions? I have a pretty big problem with this, so it would be nice to hear other people's methods in this. Okay, so here's the thing with negative comments. If you are getting a lot of negative comments, what you should do is you should read them, because there's a lot of ones that are just like, we got Mr. BFDIA 13 reaction over here who's trying to like actually say bad stuff, but there's also some of them can be constructive. Even if they're trying to be mean, they can still help you understand on like what you're doing wrong. So you should read negative comments, but just never reply, is what I've been doing. Because they can be helpful. They can like get you to understand what you're doing wrong, like why people are mad. But they can still be people trying to actually get a rise out of you, so you should never respond to them. And if you just take that criticism into account for future videos, the negative comments still dissipate. Like, I don't really get negative comments anymore after I've tried to take into account some things what people said. All right, and then this is the last question. Okay, he's got 12 questions here. Have you ever heard about, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Let's just look it up. Oh, wait, oh my gosh. The nostalgia. Wait. Dude, I remember this. Okay, maybe not like specifically like this one by Lucid Sigma. That name aged poorly. But I remember watching the Elga dude. I'd watch those marble race videos all the time. Oh, dude, I used to love those. Wow. Dude, I haven't thought about that in years. You really just brought me back. Imperial Red wasn't that fan before he joined. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I totally remember that stuff. I used to love that, like, back, long time ago, but yeah, dude, I used to watch that stuff. Did you ever expect to have so many subbed? 6K is a lot. So I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or like anything like that, like I'm like super self-centered, but I did kind of expect at some point to get a few thousand subscribers, and that's because there's one important thing about YouTube that not a lot of people know. The main key to success is one, be yourself, but number two, which is a big one, is just to keep posting. Every video you make, you'll get more subscribers, but also you'll improve with every video. You'll get better with every video you make. And even if you only get one more subscriber every video, that's still a subscriber. You're still growing, even if it is slow. So really the main key to success on YouTube, and at least in my opinion, is just to not give up. Just keep posting. The more you post, the more you'll get better. The more you get better, the more people will want to subscribe. So, well, maybe not specifically, I didn't think it would happen this fast. I'll say 6K, nearly 6K in 2 years. I didn't think it would happen this fast, but I did figure that I was gonna be doing YouTube for quite a long time, and then I figured at some point I would hit like 10K after like a handful of years. So that's really the main thing for any aspiring YouTubers, is just to not give up and make content you like. Because if you're making content that you like, you're gonna be in a better headspace and you'll actually make good stuff. Because if you're forcing yourself to make stuff and you don't care about it, it's gonna come out bad. But if you're making stuff that you like, it'll come out good because you're putting care into it. And those are the two main things I've learned about YouTube. Why are you so obsessed with DDLC? It's funny, dude. I like the characters and the fan stories are fun. If you could eliminate someone from the remaining contestants in Teapot and BFDIA, who would you eliminate? You get rid of Book in BFDIA and Bottle in Teapot. For sure. TV is, after 16, 17, I truly believe that TV is not a bad character anymore. I wouldn't say I really like him, but he's okay. Bottle is the only one left that I actively dislike. And other than that, Book's probably a second place in terms of characters I dislike. Least favorite color. Red's pretty overrated. Do you ever feel like quitting YouTube? Not really. What is your favorite SCP? Dude, I have not thought about SCPs in a while. Dude, I don't even know. It's been years since I've lost interest in SCPs. I used to be super big on them. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, I can't think of anything good right now. Where countries would you never travel to? A lot of countries. Pretty much all of Africa. I'm gonna say here's one that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with. Australia. Because of the spiders. You know, it doesn't jump to you as like something you wouldn't want to, a country you wouldn't want to go to. But Australia, it's hot as hell. There's not really that much to do. It has giant spiders everywhere. Worst school subject, English by far, dude. English sucks. Which non-BFDI video do you think is the worst or most underrated? Okay, I'm gonna take that as two separate questions. My worst non-OSC video, said it before, by far, it's the Ranking Every Wimpy Kid book, for every reason you could possibly imagine. Most underrated, the water video is starting to get more attention. Like, as many times as I've mentioned it, people are starting to like get in on it. But a really underrated one is Smart American Proof Stereotypes Aren't True. I think that was like the first video I ever made that I would still say is good. Like everything before it, even if it was good at the time, they aren't anymore. But this video, I think, has a decent narrative to it. I think it's a pretty good video. It's very underrated. And terrible thumbnail though. All right, and that was all the questions. That was a lot. It was a lot of questions. All right, let's I guess we'll move on to the next segment. And now we are on to the community segment of the video. This was a segment that I didn't have last year, and it really was something I couldn't have had because I didn't have much of community a year ago. But now I've actually got quite a bit to show. And I want to start this off by naming my top 5 comments I've received this year. Now, just a bit of a heads up, I only came up with this idea like 2 months ago. So all these comments are pretty recent, but like, what can you do? Next year I'll keep a longer list. I'll remember from the beginning. But anyway, I've got my top 5 favorite comments I've received on my videos and posts or whatever. Number 5 is from Mike Zepperson on my DDLC video. Let's just give it a read. I watched this video as an English person, and I must say this is very well done. There's a few minor things to note, but it isn't exactly off-putting to the viewing. I would love to have a fully English version of this, since the translation is a bit rough to understand at times, but I can appreciate the effort put into this video. Good job. Thanks! So I just want to tell you guys, I do only speak English. Everything in the video is English except for Garbado Studios, which is a Spanish channel that I talk about. But like, what the heck? Alright, so clearly what happened is that Mike Zipperson here must have been typing a comment for another video, and then like the autoplay hit, and then the video just submitted onto the comment submitted onto the wrong video because of the autoplay. Is what I assume is happening, because that makes sense. But Mike's the person. If you're watching this and the comment was meant for me, please tell me what you mean. I don't speak anything other than English. Number 4 is from Cool Switch Competition, and I might be wrong, but I believe this was on my voting methods short. Let's give this one a read. I'm a minor, and I'm making an object show. Okay. I don't know why he had to specify that he's a minor. I've never said anything like that. Like in the short, I'm like, you know, this is a really good voting method, but it's only for adults. Sorry, guys. What does he have to specify? I don't get it. Number 3 was on some post. I don't remember, but it was actually, this one's kind of cheating because it's really 2 comments. First one is from Hamburger92, and then the reply is, mouse is cool. Man, I hate these awful eliminations. It's one of the worst trends in BFDIA. Say that again. Like, I was reading that, just the first comment, and I immediately, upon seeing one of the worst trends, I was like, all right, I know exactly what this one reply is gonna say. And I was fucking right, and it just made me laugh so much. I don't know why, because this was like right when Fantastic Four, the new movie, was kind of like getting big, and I was watching some videos on like the old Fantastic Four movie where he says, say that again. And that was just really funny to me. Just so to see this like immediately after, like, dude, that was good. That one got me laughing good. Number 2 is this comment on the Ultimate BFDI Retrospective, and this one is insane. So this guy, Theo Thomas Gaming Show, put together a comment with the timestamps for every episode and every character I talk about in the entire thing. You're like just scrolling through this. Look at intro, worst trends here, X-Men Dies Value, BFDIA 1A, 1B, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He timestamped out everything, and like that must have taken a lot of effort. Like, maybe not a lot of effort, but sure as hell that's tedious. That's tedious work. He's watching the video and he's got to be like fully paying attention at all times, because, you know, like especially during the character ranking here, some of these guys I'm only talking about for a little bit. Like just Profiler here, I talked about for 15 seconds. This guy's got to be on his A game, paying attention at all times to get down every timestamp. And dude, it's a lot of work. He said something like it would actually fit in the description of the video, and I thought about doing that, but there is stuff in the other stuff in the description I want to have. And also this is like 200, possibly more timestamps, and that would make the bar here, the progress bar on the video, that would make it a mess. So it's a very cool comment, and it's like right at the top of the page. Everyone sees it. I just want to give props to you, Gaming Bros, Theo Thomas Gaming Show, Theo Gaming Bros. Thank you. And finally, number 1 is when GD Nacho told me I make bad thumbnails. Just put the gun to my head already, why don't ya? And now I would like to go over the fan stuff from fans that I have been in. And I want to start off with this playlist of videos I have called Videos I Am In. And I want to look at the stuff from this year. Alright, so this is going to be kind of in a random order, not exactly chronological. Alright, so first up here we've got Tweedledummer 4, Unmotivated by Gallery of Stupid. And I'm just like, I'm in this for like 2 seconds. Okay, that's actually, alright, play the clip. That's actually funny.
Oi, where am I?
Hey, what is going on, guys? Worst trends here. That's funny to me because it's like, you've got normal characters with like normal voice acting, and then suddenly just the stupid ass clip from the video. I do like that. And then I mentioned this earlier, but here is my final words to the OSC/BFDI community by Rough Storms, in which the guy very briefly mentions me. Well, not very briefly, he talks for a second. This one is like I get that warm fuzzy feeling, you know, like, because this guy's just saying like he likes my videos, and that's just, I like hearing that, dude. This guy going out of his way to put it in the script, to record it. That's nice, dude. I like that. He also mentions Chillager, who also watches my videos. Shout out to him. And then we've got, ooh, this is a good one. Worst Trends BFDI Retrospective, but it's ranked from worst to best by Experience YouTube number 2. So similarly to the timestamp comment in the first video, this must have been a tedious ass thing to make. So he takes the video, which like he either had to screen record or download all 7.5 hours of, which is already a pretty big undertaking just to have on your computer. And he basically took all of these like couple minutes long clips and rearranges all of them in order from worst to best. And I think that's really cool, because I thought about it a lot of like if I should have it how I have it in the video or have it be worst to best. And there you go, alternate universe where I did this. And I think that's very interesting, very cool thing to just have. And it's like, it's not just the placements, like he's messed around with the intro, The outro too. I mean, man, dude, effort was put into this for like just a little edit. That's just like, I don't know, dude. That's cool. This is a very cool thing. I really like this one because this is the type of thing I would make. Like if I was one of my viewers and I was watching the video, this is something I would think to make. And I know that because I almost did it with Ellis Mark's Simpson ranking when he first made that however many years ago. I was close to making something similar like this, maybe not a full video, maybe just the spreadsheet, but this is something I would do, and that's why I really like this. And then also, of course, GD Nacho's short, absolutely classic. I like the visual of him holding vodka. I think that's really funny. My response to Worst Trends by Apoy. I mean, already kind of talked about this, but dude, like, it's so cool. Like, my jaw dropped when I saw this video. It's so crazy. I like that. He accepted the apology and then gave me the second shout out. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, and a funny thing about this, as you can see here, I was close to 2,763 subscribers, and I was checking my subscriber count very frequently because I wanted to catch 2,763 and screenshot that. But because of Apoy's response, immediately shot past the 2763 before I could get the screenshot. Very unfortunate. However, let me get this up. I was more recently able to catch 4,200, which is funny because of the funny number. And then I forgot to mention this in the TV video, but why TV needs to be a villain in Teapot by Lean Beans. Ooh, Lean Beans, guys, that's Lean Beans. Obvious controversy aside that I don't really give a shit about, this is cool. This is cool. He mentions me, and that was like, the video was already doing good, but then Lean Beans video gave the TV video like a second boost of views. And that's why it's like got so many today. It's because of the 3 separate videos that it was in. It's crazy, dude. But here are the 2 big ones. What I like to call the craziest occurrences of me in other videos. The first one is a Evil Leafy Friday Night Funkin' mod, which is so random. But the beginning of the video, the beginning of the song has my video on Evil Leafy, the intro of that slowed down. Take a listen. So it's just got my video at the start here, and I didn't know until like randomly months later someone just mentioned it in a comment, and I was like, what the fuck? It's because the guy never mentioned me, which I don't really care if he forgot to mention me or whatever. I don't care that he used the video for the song. I'm honored even. But yeah, I was in a Friday Night Funkin' mod and I got 72,000 views. That's the biggest video I've been in aside from the BFDI ranking. But then the final one to talk about is BFDI Sells by Cheesy Mayo. And dude, I watch Cheesy Mayo. I like Cheesy Mayo. He's a good YouTuber. So I usually watch pretty much every video he makes. I'll watch it. But this particular video, BFDI Sells, I had it playing on my phone, I had it playing on my Chromebook, and I had it sitting right here on my desk, actually. And I was doing something else. I was, like, cleaning up, or I was putting stuff away, and I was kind of only half paying attention to the video. And something I like to do with my own videos is that after I make a new video, I like to rewatch parts of it. Like, I'll have it sit, and I'll just have it, like, rack up watch time for one, but 2, I just like to go back and reminisce, I suppose. So it's a fairly common occurrence for me to just have one of my own videos playing on my Chromebook while I'm doing something else. So I'm sitting here, I'm like cleaning up, this Cheesy Mayo video is playing in the background, and I look up and I see myself. At first I don't even notice it, like I'm barely paying attention to the video, I'm just kind of using it as background noise at the minute. So I look at it, I look away, and I'm like, wait a fucking minute, I'm watching Cheesy Mayo right now. And I look back, I rewatch, and yeah, that's me. It's me. It caught me so off guard. It's like actual jump scare. And I don't know, that was a very fun moment for me because I did not expect it at all. Like most of this other stuff, I either had told to me in a more anticlimactic way in a form of a comment, or I already half expected kind of thing. But this one got me.
With the web series as big as BFDI, some people have based their YouTube channels around the whole thing. Sometimes for icebergs, sometimes for goddamn 7-hour retrospective.
Like, it's just like a simple mentioning. He doesn't even say my name. But like, it got me, dude. It was a jump scare. Because I was not remotely expecting it. And to be fair, I did mention Cheesy Mayo in the Barf Bag video, which was like, I think a few days before this one. So he must have seen that and was like, all right, he mentions me, I gotta mention him.
She's just a very charming character. She's very level-headed and reasonable, which are usually my favorite types of characters in not just object shows, but all media. Donut, Brian Griffin, Mr. Gus, Cheesy Mayo.
And you know what, that was fun. Now I'm going to be looking at the fan art that I've received. All right. The very first piece of fan art that I ever received is from CD Milky about 3 months ago. And holy shit, what a way to start out. Hand-drawn fan art, damn! And we were just talking about this guy. Also came bundled with a Cheesy Mayo drawing. But dude, this is crazy good. I really love the expression. It makes him look like a real smug bastard, and that's kind of Worsty as a character. Very fitting. And then, not long after that, I got another one from 3VR, and this one, a lot more simple, but honestly, it's got that simple elegance to it. And he remade the asset. Again, very nice expression. It's more of like, what the fuck am I looking at kind of thing. This one's nice. This is the second one I got. And then after that, I probably should have actually talked about this in the video segment, but this is from Lizzie's Cool Stuff, and it's just a little animated little short where I kill a teardrop. It doesn't really make sense for water to be on fire, but this was fun. It's a funny little video. There you go. And finally, most recently, 3 weeks ago, I got a drawing from Alexis III. And actually, this one's a little different because it's not just one drawing, it's 3. This drawing of Worsty here came also packaged with a mediocre version and also one of you. Which I'm glad Yu's getting a little bit of recognition. I've been trying to make Yu more of a little character, so I do like the inclusion of the other characters. I'm not sure why I only have one eye, but you know what? That's the style, and I do like it. I like the like how it's like very. I mean, how do I put this? It's like almost like watercolor. The texture of like. You can see a lot more on mediocre here. Like, I don't know the texture of like the drawing. I like it. On the blue here, I like that. I really like that. And this one also comes bundled with a profile picture version. That's very relevant. Let me get to that. For a while now, I've been trying to come up with a better profile picture for the channel. Right now I have the logo, just the Worst Trends logo, and that works fine, but it's just kind of boring, you know? It doesn't really have much personality. It doesn't give the channel much of an identity. So then I came up with a banger idea. I think it would be really cool if one of these pieces of fan art became the new profile picture. But I obviously couldn't choose just one. I mean, look at them. They're all the worst. Which means I'm gonna be leaving it up to you guys. Using the poll in the description of this video, vote on which of these 3 pieces of fan art should become the channel's new profile picture. And then voting is gonna end on like whatever's on screen. I don't know, I didn't look. So again, I just wanna say, I really appreciate you guys. I mean, of recent times, you guys have been very supportive, been very patient, very positive, which is a big one. I think it's not a super big community, but I like it. I really like this community because I get these little pieces of fan art that are super special to me, and I can still like individually see like every person. Like I can recognize commenters across videos, and that's just something you don't have when you're a really big YouTuber. Like you think PewDiePie remembers many subscribers? I don't think so. But right now, you know, I remember so many individual people, and I like that. I like you guys. Gotta say, I like you guys. And with that, it's about time we wrap up the video. Alright guys, so now we have potentially bad news. So last year, nothing really changed after the 1-year anniversary. It was the same old thing, working on videos at normal pace. But something that's gonna be a little bit different about this year is I'm gonna be moving out to college. And that could definitely mess things up. It really could. I don't know what it's gonna be like. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to work on videos. I don't know how difficult my classes are gonna be, if I'm gonna need to spend hours upon hours studying. And I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But what I will say is that if I can work on videos, I will. This is something I absolutely love doing, and I'm not just gonna give it up easily. If I ever officially go away and stop making videos, I will tell you guys. But if I don't say that, just assume that I'm working on something, because I will try to still make videos. I'm gonna try my best, because there's still so many ideas I want to make, so many videos, so many things I have to talk about still, and I want to keep this going for as long as I can. But on the flip side of that, the object show. Okay, so here's the thing about the object show. I got Adobe Animate. I've tried animating. I've started animating. I posted 2 videos about it. But here's the thing. Animating sucks. It's just not that, like, I'm bad at it. Animating isn't fun. So here's kind of the thing with the object show, is that I would love to make this show. I have this cast of characters. I have this story. I have the first episode fully written that I absolutely love. This is a story I would absolutely love to tell if given the chance. And I know I have that chance. But do I really? Like, animating is such a slow process. It's not horribly difficult. I know I'll get better at it if I do it more, but it is extremely time consuming. And I've started on the first video for the object show, and it is just like, it's a slog. And it's not that fun for me to do. And I think that it's canceled. I know it sucks to say, it really does. I hate saying it, because again, it's a story I really want to tell. I think that I have the tools to make something truly special. I have planned out a lot of the season, and I think I could make something really, really good, at least from my perspective. But it's just animating. I mean, the season's supposed to be 25 episodes long, and with the pace I'm going, it's gonna take a year to make episode 1. And at that point, if I know that the season's not gonna finish, is it even worth it? A few months ago, I would have said yes, and that I should try anyway. But when I can't even animate that well, and I'm just too ambitious with some of the things I've written for this episode. Like, there's explosions, there's action, there's a lot of stuff in this first episode, and if it were to be made and it had like teapot visuals, I think it would be a really, really good episode. But that's just not gonna happen, and I hate that. But if I'm already unsure about worst trends, then Seaben, the object show, I mean, what does that tell you? There are a few ways around this, right? Like, the only thing standing in my way is the animation itself. So there's a few solutions that one might present, but they don't work. The first option is just to hire people to animate for me. But I'm gonna be a college student, and I'm gonna need all the money I can get. That's definitely not an option. The second option is to ask for volunteers, but could potentially work, but it's just not something I'd feel good about. Because again, like I said, this first episode is very long, a lot longer than it should be. And I don't want to push that upon people who I'm not even paying. And some of these shots are just probably too much that I'm looking for. To have people come to me out of the kindness of their heart to animate, I'm like, okay, I need you to animate this really crazy perspective shot where these characters are like flying through the air and the background's going crazy with all this lighting. Like, that's not something I would ever do. And also, dude, I've talked a bit about it before, but if I've got like a BFB 17 situation where the animation style is switching every few minutes, that's just so jarring. It's so distracting. I wouldn't want that. And here's the final solution, which I have thought about the most, and that's to actually make the show, but in book form. And I just keep it, I'll continue writing with the characters, people can still vote and everything, but there'd be no voice acting, there'd be no animation, it would just be words. And while that would definitely work, and I could still tell the story and it would work as an object show, who's really gonna care? I mean, I'm sure there will be some people, a few dozen people, that would still come in every episode, read it, and vote, but it's just long term, each episode's gonna fall off, and it's just never gonna be the same as if it was a full-on animation. I don't know, if I'm ever for sure 100% I'm not gonna make this. Perhaps I'll release the script for episode 1. Don't hold your breath on it. I don't know. But it's... Actually, here, I forgot. I'm gonna say this. I hope to make C-Ben in my lifetime. The current plan, as of right now, is that in 30 years, when I retire from my job, that's when I'm gonna make C-Ben. I'm gonna pull out this old script from 30 years ago, and I'm gonna take all my retirement money, I'm gonna hire voice actors, I'm gonna hire animators, and then I'm gonna make C-Ben. That's the plan. I would rather not wait 30 years to make it, but I don't know, man. If you guys have any like good solutions you want to share, definitely let me know, because it's a story I really want to tell. I've got arcs planned. I've got a crazy story planned. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I've got season 2 planned already. Of course, I'm way too ambitious with this. But yeah, I think it would be good. I do. I don't want to. I really like this episode that I wrote, and I would love nothing more to see it fully animated and voice acted, but it's just not a possibility at the moment. I wish I could do YouTube as a job, and I would have all the time in the world, and I could do Worst Trends and the Object Show. I would do that if I could, but it's just not an option, unfortunately. You know, it sucks to say. I teased you guys. I edged you with the 2 animations. I'm sorry. That's all I can say is I apologize for getting your hopes up about this show, for thinking that you would be delivered an object show from me. How about this? If Greenie, Zachary, Durpadon, or Jack and Jill, if you're watching this, I am willing to hand off all profits from the show to you if you animate it for me. I'll write each episode, you animate it, and then you get the profits. Contact me, guys. If you're Jack and Jellyfy, if you're Greenie, if you're Zachary, email me. We can work something out, because that's totally a possibility. Like, oh man, Teapot's done. What's next? I got it. So yeah, I know it sucks to say, it's a sour note to end the video on, but think about it this way. I live for this, guys. I live for making videos. This is what I want to do. If I can do it, if I have the ability to keep making videos, I'm sure as hell gonna do it. I will not leave you guys without telling you, all right? If I've been silent for months, I'm working on something, all right? I just want to say that I'm not going away. I've got a lot of videos planned out. I have the entire rest of the year I have planned out. All of 2025. I know what videos I'm gonna make, when they'll release, how many videos I'll make. And I think that if I'm still able to make videos on this pace, this is gonna be a really good year. Potentially the best year of Worst Trends. So I wanna leave it on that good note that I'm gonna do what I can, but I'm not leaving you guys. But anyway, that was the 2-year anniversary of the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.